Yeah. Have you seen this?
Hashtag DORK over 5, a new beginning.
The guy asked for something spooky.
We are going to combine efforts and get a new top 50 horror list. We'll bring it back to murder mystery. Jamie didn't commit suicide. She was murdered.
We're gonna solve this son of a bitch.
And scary stories to tell in the dark.
Oh my God, we're back. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined by the Davies. Ryan, how are you?
Hello. Well, we're not off to a good start.
What the hell? Hold on a second. Let me also introduce
Yes.
our other guest who has been on the previous Murder Mystery, episode 190 and 191, if you want to check out the catalog. Also, many dorks gone by, including Making a Murderer and others. It is my sister-in-law, Nicole. Nicole, welcome back.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. Davey, back to the bad start you're having?
See, here's the thing. So we went through this thing last time. We ran into a bit of an issue because we were just going off your PDFs, which were fine images, but there were some details that we missed, obviously because of that. Now,
yes,
I have taken the time to get all of our information into very specific piles.
Oh no!
I left the room for 5 minutes.
Not good.
And the shit has hit the fan in the Davey household.
It's
like one of my kids.
I operate in chaos.
Apparently.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna have to go above and beyond now. We're gonna have to move past that as well, Ryan.
I'm a professional. I rise above it.
So here's the deal: we have a cold case on our hands that we need to solve with the help of the listener as well. Streaming this on YouTube. And I would recommend, if you want to catch up on the first murder mystery that we did, watch the YouTube rather than listening to it, because we're going to have pictures. There's pictures you can look at. There's a lot of information here. We're going to try to do as much of it as we can in night one. We'll see how we do. Last time it was 2 parts, and I don't know if that was too much of a surprise. But here we go. This is a cold case, and let's just dive in, just the bare bones of it. Here's your summary. Just after 1 a.m., on April 23rd, 2001, a blazing fire broke out in a cabin at the Del Fuego Rehab Center. The charred body of an unidentified female was found underneath the structure. Investigators determined the fire was started intentionally in an attempt to cover up a murder. There were only 5 people on the island at the time, but police were unable to identify the killer or the victim. After several months of investigation, detectives closed the case. Who is Jane Doe? How did she get to the island? And who killed her? That is what we are going to have to determine. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling good about it. I'm a little perturbed that the name of the place where there was a fire was called The Fire.
Yeah,
Of the fire rehab.
Of the Fire Rehab.
Well, they must have known. They must have known. So basically, we have a hat trick on our hands. We don't know who's dead. We don't know who killed her. But our first objective, believe it or not, this seems a little odd to me, but our first objective is find out how Jane Doe got to the island.
Which I thought was weird too, because I figured so what goes hand in hand with these missing person cases is you actually have to find out who the person is first. And might I add, I just want to make mention of the incredible work. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, Umberto Primavera coming through with the big sketch. What a great name.
Mm-hmm.
Umberto Primavera.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. Nice work.
Okay.
This is what we're working with here. So again, keep in mind the 3 things that we're looking for, but specifically the first one, and that is, how did Jane Doe get to the island? Nicole, where do you think we should begin?
Probably with a newspaper article, just to kind of give everybody a background.
I like that. I like that very much. Okay. Let's start with the newspaper article here.
Let's get it.
Charred remains of Jane Doe found in Del Fuego Island fire by Weston Price. Would somebody like to read the article?
I got it right in front of me. Here we go. The severely burned body of an unidentified young woman was found underneath a cabin in the early morning hours today at the Del Fuego Rehab Center on Del Fuego Island. Again, that is of the fire.
Kind of hammering us with this.
Officials have already ruled the fire as arson and believe it was an attempt to cover up a murder. The victim has been determined to be a young female between the ages of 17 and 24. Detective Kate Dickinson of the Apollonia Police Department is conducting the homicide investigation. No one is currently allowed to leave or come onto the island other than the suspects, witnesses, and investigators. There were 5 people on the island at the time, 4 patients and the center's counselor, Christopher King. The patients include award-winning actress Ava B. Lawrence, former supermodel Paula May, Safety Net Incorporated CEO Rob Knox, and Jack Danner, the husband of world-renowned modeling agent Angela Bellevue. Dr. Kendra Matthews, director of the Del Fuego Rehab Center, released the following statement, quote, I speak for the entire staff when I say that we are both deeply saddened and thoroughly devastated to learn that a young woman's body was found on the premises of our beautiful facility. Since 1976, the Del Fuego Rehab Center has been a safe haven from the storms of life for all of our patients. A place of healing where our clients have always felt completely secure and supported. This comes as a definite shock to all of us, but it is an isolated incident, and I want to assure everyone that the safety and well-being of our patients is our utmost concern here at Del Fuego. Police are asking anyone who might know anything about the identity of this young woman, please call Detective Kate Dickinson at 310-555-4378.
And you'll also see a photo of Del Fuego Island underneath this article as well. And you can also get a sense of where it is. 12 miles south of the Apollonia Marina, which is like just an island kind of off of LA, it looks like.
Right.
Real
Not
place,
super
question
far.
mark?
Huh?
It's probably not a real place, but...
I don't know. But there has been a murder.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, there was also a back of that before we get to any thoughts that we may have, thoughts, concerns, etc. on that. The back of the article looks like this. And again, sometimes, at least from the last murder mystery that we did, it was sort of oh, here we go. This is better for the viewer. Sorry about that, originally. Even though that was sort of the meat and potatoes on the front, sometimes there's a little information on the back that proved to be quite handy. This one says, Malibu police are searching for an 18-year-old woman who has not been seen since late January. Authorities say Kaya Martinez was last spotted around midnight on January 27th near the 2300 block of South Lee Street. Kaya is described as 5 feet 4 inches tall, 130 pounds, brown eyes, shoulder-length black hair. She was last seen wearing a Charlotte Hornets sweatshirt and cargo pants. Anyone with information on Kaya's whereabouts is asked to contact investigators.
Now, can we already rule her out since she does not fit the description?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, well...
That's probably going to have to do something with another objective.
That was 5. So the girl in the fire was described as 5'7", between 90 pounds and 140. Was it 5'7" and 6 feet?
Yeah. Okay.
Real bombshell.
All right. So that is, you can probably rule her out. It also says VA opens new gambling addiction treatment center in downtown LA. The Department of Veterans Affairs has opened an inpatient gambling addiction recovery center in the heart of Los Angeles. VA officials announced this month that the Los Angeles VA Residential Recovery and Renewal Center will host 30 and 45-day programs for gambling and substance abuse treatment. The facility is the second of its kind in nearly 30 years. The department's first gambling addiction center, a trailblazing treatment facility that was the first of its kind in the country for addressing compulsive gambling, opened in Sacramento in 1972. Bobby Shanahan, chief of behavioral health at the VA Southern California healthcare system, said, the new facility fills a badly needed gap in our mental health continuum of care. Here's a picture of Paula May Cosmetics, by the way. LA County recovers from intense rain, wind, and flooding. The downtrodden Mr. Smirnoff. And to make matters worse, I just discovered that I've made the colossal mistake of letting my boat insurance lapse. So I guess you could say that I'm sunk. Let that be a lesson to all of your readers. And it says 2 flooded vehicles abandoned on the 2700 block of Waterview Place in Apollonia. Damaging wind gusts of up to 70 miles an hour left over 200,000 Southeastern California light and power customers without electricity. When questioned about the outage, spokesman Paul Danvers had this to say, quote, we're doing everything in our power to get everybody's electricity up and running by tomorrow morning. Please bear with us. The raging winds also sent an enormous oak tree smashing down onto rock legend Billy Joel's tour bus, which then lit on fire. The bus was parked outside the Apollonia Music Hall, where he just finished wrapping up a concert. Apparently, nonplussed by the damage, Joel said, quote, "I'm glad no one was hurt. Not sure if lightning or a power line started the fire, but I know we didn't."
Ha!
The Appalachia Power Works Department has been working nonstop since early this morning to clear the streets.
He didn't
They
start the
hope
fire.
to have all roads back up before nightfall.
All right. So just before we get started, I'm reading in the chat right now. Girl Ride does not have impeccable vision. In fact, her eyes are shit. Look, I'm reading the thing right there. Mac was asking if you had impeccable vision.
Are you good? No, I have horrible.
That's what I'm saying. Your eyes are
yeah,
shit. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Yes, that's why I normally wear these.
Yes. There it is.
So what do we?
Now we've got that cleared up.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank God.
That is the first mystery.
The first mystery of
Salt.
the Davey family
No,
eyesight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Takeaways.
Takeaways here. So it's all information we got in the background. I'm not really sure. This Kaya Martinez, I don't know how that fits in, if at all. But as we know, having done one of these before, something back here is going to factor into something we do.
So again, for our first objective is find out how Jane Doe got to the island. And this doesn't answer it, but I do think it's obviously worth mentioning there was intense rain, wind, and flooding.
Right.
And somebody lost vehicles, flooded vehicles, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and all this other stuff. So I think keep that in mind, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's safe to say that boat
Boat.
would be the answer.
Yeah.
A boat.
A
How
boat.
did Jane Doe get to the island? A boat.
Well,
It's only 12 miles.
Maybe she flew. Maybe she
You
flew.
take a
Swam.
12-mile flight.
yeah, I guess I'm confused when the storm happened. Right.
So
we
this was
think-
this was published the day after, right? So it would have been that
So it would
night.
have been that.
Yeah, so that night, because that's
Dave?
how.
But they were all on
No,
at a
but
fire.
Nicole was
Yes.
going to say.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Oh no, that the cabin burned down. I think during a storm.
Right. And it was put out by rain, right?
Yeah.
Is what they said.
Yeah, so the date of this newspaper is Monday, April 23rd, 2001. Which is just after 1 a.m. on April 23rd, 2001 is when it happened. So this happened late at night. So after midnight on Sunday, the 22nd, just after midnight. So it became the 23rd.
Mhm.
And then this paper is the evening edition of that. So it's the next day.
Okay.
So that's what we're looking at here. All right. Should we go to the case closed document, you think?
Yes, that's what I have next.
Okay. Let's do that. And then Nicole or Ryan, would you like to read this?
I don't
Oh,
know.
go ahead.
I have it.
Nicole read it. She has it.
Okay.
Alright.
It's the case closed form. It's from the detective Kate Dickinson, from the homicide, and I think it's Apollonia Police Department. So it's the facts of the case. On Monday, April 23rd, 2001, at 5:37 a.m., the Apollonia Fire Department got a call from Ari Urowitz, head of security for the Del Fuego Rehab Center, about an overnight fire in cabin 2. The fire had already been extinguished by heavy rains. During their inspection, the fire department identified proof of arson and a severely burned body underneath the cabin. They immediately called us. The body was that of an unidentified young female between the ages of 17 and 24. The female victim was not a person who was supposed to be on the island. There were 5 people on the island at the time. All 5 are suspects. We narrowed down the potential identities of Jane Doe to 5 women, all reported missing and fitting the data obtained from the body. We can't figure out how Jane Doe got to the island, who she is, or who killed her. So your prime suspects listed are Christopher King, addiction counselor who lied about personal drug use and had an altercation with a missing girl who could be Jane Doe. Paula May is a food addict, and she was attacked someone on the island for taking her photo. Jack Danner, an alcoholic with violent outbursts when security took alcohol he tried to smuggle in, also known to be a womanizer. Ava Lawrence is a cocaine addict, history of destructive and narcissistic behavior. And Rob Knox, a gambling addict. He was a suspect in a 1995 unsolved murder case, displayed violent behavior at the marina just prior to boarding the boat to the island. And then the conclusion. The identity of Jane Doe was never discovered, and we were unable to link her to any of the suspects. The victim's information was uploaded to the National Jane Doe database. No conclusive evidence was found to make a conviction or press charges. Closed case until additional information comes to light.
Okay.
Summary.
All right.
So we get a little bit more information. We get the 5 prime suspects. So basically, Christopher King is the addiction counselor who runs the island there. And then the 4 people that we know were there and are all suspects are identified: Paula May, Jack Danner, Ava B. Lawrence, Rob Knox. And so you thought that there was only 5 people on the island. We're also introduced to Ari Urowitz, who is the head of security. He'll play a factor in this. He has a witness statement from him, I believe. So, all right. Anything jump out to you? Anybody there?
Why was hang on, scroll up. So why did the guy wait 4.5 hours to call in the fire?
Good point, right? Because it was 1 o'clock.
The fire happened at 107 or something.
Yeah.
And it didn't get called in until 5:37. And then by that point, the fire was already out, right? Because it was put out by rain.
Yes, it was. It was put up by rain, heavy rains.
So that don't make no sense.
And Ari was the one who called it in, but he wasn't on the island when it happened. He had already left.
Correct.
Yes.
And then he came back.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we'll probably find out more about that.
Who called Ari?
Yeah, who called Ari?
Chris King called Ari, I believe.
Chris King.
You son of a bitch.
Chris King, who's the counselor.
Who was the counselor on the island.
He called.
Addiction counselor. Yep. Lied about personal drug use. And he had an altercation with a missing girl who could be Jane Doe. So we'll keep that under our hat as well. Christopher King might have had an altercation with our Jane Doe, which is not objective number 1, but it is something we're going to have to solve. All right. What would be the next item you think we should go to here?
The arson investigation report.
All right. I have that. Let's go to the
green one.
Arson.
Yeah, the green one.
I have that on the ready. Arson investigation report. The background here. On Monday, so some similar information. On Monday, April 23rd, 2001 at 5:37 a.m., we received a call from Ari Urowitz, head of security for Del Fuego Rehab Center, informing us of an overnight fire in one of their cabins on Del Fuego Island. Mr. Urowitz learned of the incident at 1:07 a.m. when Del Fuego Rehab Center counselor Christopher King contacted him by phone. Urowitz ascertained the fire was no longer active as it had been extinguished by the rain. Since all individuals were unharmed and accounted for, there wasn't a need for us to investigate until daybreak for routine inspection and documentation. At that point, it was theorized lightning from the storm may have ignited the fire. All right. Initial observations. I, along with Lieutenant Stephen McCaffrey, arrived at the island shortly after 8:15 that morning. Upon initially viewing what remained of the structure, we concluded that approximately 90% of it had been destroyed. We detected the distinct smell of gasoline permeating the structure right away. While searching for the source of the fire, we uncovered a body burned beyond recognition in what remained of the crawl space underneath the structure. Immediately upon making this discovery, we called the Appalachia PD at 8:24 a.m. The heat signature, along with the evidence, clearly showed the majority of the gasoline was poured on or near the body, and that this is where the fire originated. We found both a gas can and a Zippo lighter near the body, validating our certainty that the fire was set on purpose. The lighter belongs to Christopher King, an employee at the facility. The gas can belongs to the facility maintenance team. Several witnesses confirmed Mr. King used both the lighter and the gasoline can earlier that evening to start a fire and left both items at the fire pit where all 5 of the people on the island had access to them. Conclusions. The fire was intentionally started with gasoline and a lighter, both found on the scene. The fire originated in the area beneath the cabin where the body was found, as opposed to inside the cabin or from a lightning strike. We strongly suspect the body was doused in gasoline before the fire started. We suspect the victim was dead or unconscious before the fire started, and the fire was a feeble attempt to hide the evidence. The lighter and gas can were so badly burned in the fire that any remaining forensic evidence, like fingerprints or material fibers, was destroyed. All right, so that's a lot of information. It doesn't necessarily lead us in any possible reason how Jane Doe got to the island, but it gives us really the whole story of what happened that night. Unless I'm missing something.
No.
It makes sense.
All right. So still, I mean, I was gonna say all 5 suspects are still very much the suspects. We don't know who the girl is. We just know that anybody like could have had access to the lighter and the gas, and they murdered somebody and they were trying to cover it up. Big time, like obviously.
Yes.
All right, what's next?
So the goal is, let's not lose sight of our first task, is to figure out how Jane Doe got to the island. So I think we need to go to the missing people and first of all identify who she is.
Do you
Right?
think that's, I mean, so this is what I couldn't figure out with the objective. Is that part of objective 1 or is that a separate objective?
I think my guess is it's separate, that you just want to figure out, like, there's one way on the island and off the island that we know about right now, which is Ari's boat.
Right.
So we have to figure out, based on what Ari said, if we think he somehow got someone on the island, or
True.
someone snuck someone on the island, or
But I think
was there
like, what
another
Davey-
way?
Yeah, I think what Davey was saying too, though, the missing girls, we are eventually gonna have to find out who Jane Doe is, but maybe that we have a list of 5 potential Jane Does, and maybe you would get a sense of how they could even get to the end. Like maybe you'll find out both at the same time.
Right. Maybe.
Because so obviously we opened it a little bit earlier today, and there is one person that would have a way to be on the island.
Okay, so
But
should we look at the missing people?
Yeah, I think we should look at the missing people.
All right, I'm with you on that. Here is the missing person database search for 5 results that match the description: the height, weight, age, and then, as you can tell, and we saw by the sketch that we had, there appears to be a bit of a gap tooth situation happening.
yes.
Bit of a Michael Strahan situation happening here.
A little Dave Letterman. So we have Jasmine L. Barstow, who was last seen June of 2000 in Venice Beach.
So you want me to, as you go through these, you want me to give you a brief synopsis as to how these women went missing?
Oh
Would
yeah,
that be helpful?
if you have you have that information, that can cut down a little bit. So yeah,
Okay.
So Jasmine L. Barstow.
Jasmine Barstow. My daughter was last seen the night of June 16th. She was at a bonfire with some friends down at Venice Beach. It was one of Jazzy's favorite things to do. One of her friends told me that she saw her talking to a dark-haired man further down the beach for a while, and when she came back to the bonfire, she told them she was going out on his boat and not to wait for her. I'm having a really hard time wrapping my head around that. That's the last I know of anyone seeing her. Please do everything you can to help find my baby. So she, a year prior, because this happened in April 2001, so in June 2000, she went missing from a bonfire. So that is a little bit dated. I will also, it's written in very big. It says broken nose from a nasty volleyball spike.
Oh, okay.
So she had a broken nose, which will come into play later.
All right, the next name on this list is Maria Gonsalves.
And this is where it gets interesting.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
On 4/20/2001, which is 3 days or 2 days before the incident,
3.
Maria was fired from her job as a housekeeper at the Del Fuego Rehab Center.
Come on.
On 4/23/2001, her mother filed a missing person report, hadn't answered her phone all weekend, missed her sister's birthday party. Mother checked on her 4/23. No one answered the door, but her car was home. Interesting. So she does fit the description.
But her car is at her house.
Her car is at her house.
So, because my first thought would be is if she worked there and was fired, and by the way, I would assume and we can do some more information. But that story that said that Christopher King had an issue with somebody, I am guessing that he had an issue with her, but we'll get into that. My thought would be, do we know for a fact that she ever left the island?
That's what I was thinking.
I mean, I would assume being fired, she was taken off the island.
Well,
But
if
that's
she,
assuming.
that's assuming.
That's assuming.
If she was a housekeeper, they would have maybe had a residence there for them.
Yeah, and I just think that I don't know, because if her car was home, but again, you're on an island. I don't think can you bring your car to the island?
Maybe a ferry, some sort of ferry system.
Maybe, but like, wouldn't her car always be at home?
Well, no, they didn't have a ferry. They only had one boat.
They come from the boat.
Yeah, there's no
It's like
ferry.
a boat that comes from the marina.
Yeah.
How would she get to the marina?
Right. So she had to have gone home if her car was there, because the car would have been at the marina, not her house.
I feel like she's kind of an obvious one, but so let's
One of the things I want to back up is I think it's important just to kind of note some things. So the first girl, Jasmine, known as Jazzy Barstow, has asthma. This is on all of them. She has asthma and she's allergic to nuts and raisins. And she had a bright green hoodie on, white shorts, flip flops, and she had a puka shell necklace and gold stud earrings. She also had contacts. They all have contacts. The Maria Gonçalves, she's colorblind and asthmatic. And she had on a polo shirt from the Del Fuego Rehab Center.
What's up with that?
What's with all the asthmatics? Sucks to your asthma.
What's going on with that? So, all right, so that's two of them. What about Louisa M. Lanahan?
Louisa Lanahan. Last seen wearing black leggings, a black oversized Blink-182 t-shirt. Don't need to bring that up.
Some have called them a one-hit wonder.
Fight with her parents over being grounded. Parents came home from a party to find she had packed, left a note saying she was feeling stifled and leaving home to pursue an acting career. So this is in New Jersey. So they don't even know. I mean, this is kind of outrageous too, because this happened in 1998. So it would have been 3 years before this.
She's the one with.
And so it also says, so we're going to break our silence here. We read the coroner's report and it says intact skeleton. And Miss Louisa Lanahan is missing a toe from a lawnmower accident.
Four-toe Lanahan.
Good old four toes Lanahan.
Oh my
So
God.
not to spurl this one, but we can kind of cross this one off the list because she is not an intact skeleton.
Okay. Number 4 on this list is Emma Lynn Simpson.
Emma Lynn Simpson. Whoever wrote this paperwork has the best handwriting I think I've ever seen. She wanted to go into modeling in a big city like LA or New York. Her dad and I were against it because of those places are full of questionable people. She was really mad about it too. It broke our hearts, so we saved up and bought us a trip to LA for a few weeks so she could pursue her dream. The only problem was we were holding out to tell her about it until her birthday tomorrow. But she left not knowing, and we think she left because she thought we were holding her back. My heart is broken into a million pieces. So this is Emma Simpson, who hails from, let's see, another asthmatic.
Warren's, Wisconsin?
Warren's, Wisconsin. Modeling, photography, piano.
But she might have been on the way to LA, so.
She was in YMCA and 4-H.
How long ago did she disappear?
She was
a
month. Date 3/11. 3/3/11.
Okay. And the last possible Jane Doe is Kim Rose's son.
Kim Rose's son. Detached toenail on her big left foot. Or big toe on the left foot. Please help. We're so worried. My daughter Kim is missing, and the last place she was the Apollonia Marina to take pictures of the sailboat. She can't swim. I should have never let her go alone. She was supposed to come back for brunch at 11, but she never came home. This isn't like her. Her car is still down there, and I'm so afraid she might have fallen in the water. Please help us find our daughter.
Well, we know she didn't swim to the island.
Yeah,
She's
been missing since 95.
That's a while.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
And she has glasses and contacts too. What's interesting is she's into photography as well as, did you say the one before, Emma Simpson?
Yes, mostly modeling and photography.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's interesting. I mean, I think I don't know how we prove it, but Maria Gonzalez is the one person we know that has been on the island for sure.
Yes.
Right.
Everybody else, it's a bit of a leap. Should we do the autopsy report?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's do that. Again, just keep all this info under your hat here. Jane Doe, female, 17 to 24, undetermined race, weight 90 to 140 pounds, height 5'9 to 6'1.
Large.
So, by the way, can you go through, Rye, do you have all the other ladies, their heights?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you want me to go through the heights? So,
Yeah.
Maria Gonzalez, 5'11".
Okay.
Jamie Barstow, 5'11".
Okay.
Who is this? Lanahan, 5'9".
Okay.
Ooh. Lynn Simpson, 6 feet. And Kim Rose's son, 5'10".
Oh, I thought one of them was shorter.
That was the one on the
That was
newspaper.
The newspaper.
Oh, shoot. All right, so these ones are all legit. Never mind.
Yeah, they all.
Let's see. Description of corpse. Near skeletal condition of the remains with extensive burns and charring throughout the victim's body. Crushed sternum. External injuries. Body burned and charred beyond recognition. Manner of death. A crushing blow to the sternum resulted in multiple internal injuries and near sudden death. Cause of death. Extensive internal injuries. Victim most likely suffocated due to the internal bleeding and collapsed lungs. Internal injuries. We believe the crushed sternum and the broken ribs ruptured the aorta and collapsed the lungs.
Tough way to go.
It's brutal. Identifying information, even with a complete skeleton, this was all we could determine due to the fire damage.
So,
Female, 27 to 24, 5'9 to 6'1, 90 to 140 pounds, and the gap between the two front teeth, which again was what we've had. Yes.
so we have one with missing toe, so that's right off the list, and then one with a broken nose. And they don't mention a broken nose.
Okay, so
Well, they wouldn't see that if it was burned off her face.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
No, I guess.
The toe.
The toe is what gives it away.
It's not. It's not four-toe Lanahan.
It's not four-toed Lanahan?
Yeah. No.
So
I'm pretty convinced.
old 9 toes Lanahan. So
Yeah.
so
Good
we
old
can
9 toes.
so we can toss her out. You think fair?
Yeah. Yeah. I have her X'd off.
Let me make sure I got the right one. Okay. Get out of here. Narrative. The corpse's body was extensively burned, charred, and disintegrated, leaving it in an unrecognizable skeletal-like condition. Our investigation concludes that the victim was killed by a direct crushing blow to the sternum, resulting in several broken ribs and both a severe rupture to the aorta and the collapse of both lungs, leading to cardiogenic shock. This blow to the sternum occurred sometime in a 2-hour window prior to the body being burned in the fire. All right, so something to keep in mind. So if the fire started at 1, somebody had to be probably away at 11 p.m. to do the murder.
Yes.
Yes.
We were unable to determine anything about the attacker from the injuries due to the extensive fire damage, although the blow appears to have required great force. Okay. Jane Doe likely stopped breathing immediately after the impact and lost consciousness within 20 to 30 seconds. Within 2 minutes, all neurological activity would have shut down.
So something like, I'm guessing, if I'm looking at this right now, I'm no coroner, but I can tell you this. No person did that.
What?
I'm
Oh, you
guessing.
mean like it
I'm
has to
guessing
be
they like crashed a boat into the thing, because you look at the picture. If you look at the picture of where it happened, it's on the water. Like the boat, like the thing is on the water.
Oh, what do you want to pick? I can put it up. What do you want?
The picture of the burn site,
Of the burned
The
cabin?
cabin.
the burn cabin. Yeah.
All right, I have that.
Crash?
Let's get that for the people.
So there's what. So see what I'm saying? And since we're trying to figure out where if you look, no, they gave us. You can't see it in this picture.
This is crackers, by the way. Right, let me jump in. For those of
do
you
it.
that paid attention to our previous murder mystery, you know that we were hoodwinked, bamboozled, and absolutely bum rushed because we being me, couldn't see the fine print, and I was the only one that had the hard copy of it. But in this packet, they gave us one of these. It's a little magnifying glass. If we had this last time, I guarantee we would have solved it. And so
Now, speaking
what that
of that,
also means is we need to look at these photos closely.
if you look at the bottom left of this, where the jetty kind of stops, see where the brick wall kind of ends, like right. If you look down there, it has something with like numbers pieces,
Yes.
like numbers and letters on it, and it looks like the piece of a boat.
Yeah.
What was happening? Okay.
You see it?
Yeah, I did. I absolutely 100% see that. But what is it?
So I think it's nothing to create such trauma for someone's chest to cave in like that. They would have had to crash into something, or that house fell on them.
Or she got
know
hit
that-
with something, don't you think?
It was about like what though? Like a bat? Or like
Maybe. I mean,
it had to be like a sledgehammer or
a
something.
board. It could have been a wood board.
So
I don't think it could have been.
It looks like
Who's going to
to
swing a
me,
wood board that hard? It's too
Someone
heavy.
agree?
It's too heavy to swing that hard.
I don't know.
CF8069. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
S, right? So it's
it looks almost like a license, like a boat license.
Yeah.
CF
80
8069. Nice.
or yeah.
All right,
Now
so I'm gonna write
you at home can't see that, but if you look at
that. If you
can
let's see.
you enlarge it, Rich?
yeah, and hence
Enhance.
right there, yeah.
So this area right here, that's what we're talking about. What
But
is
it also
that
could
though?
have fallen. I don't know, because it looks like a piece of concrete almost.
Yeah, but in my head, when it's like a piece of a boat, like that's my.
Well, especially we know there is missing.
And we know
bolts.
Smirnoff's boat's missing.
They made a point of saying that. Okay, but
All right, so hold on a second. Jordan wants to see the A1 News article again. Jordan in the chat. So let's just jump out to this. You guys can keep looking at that if you want. Charred remains of Jane Doe found in Del Fuego Island fire. So there you go. There's that story. But it's not like a car could get there unless was it with the winds, but it's not like if you got swept up there, I don't think
Hit the
it would carry-
hit the
it
rocks or something.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't carry you 12 miles. But do any of the missing the potential Jane Does, is there
Oh, guys,
Infor-
guess. Okay. So,
Oh, I love it. What do you got?
what?
I'd like everyone to go. So, first of all, can we take a step back for a second?
Yes.
Yes.
So we have a bunch of pictures, and why don't we talk briefly, really quick about the suspects?
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
the suspects? Okay. All right. So we
Okay.
have 5 suspects. So the people who are on the island.
Yes.
So you're talking about your Christopher Kings, your
Yep.
Ava B. Lawrence,
Yep. Can you put the picture up of them, please?
the people once they arrived there.
Them
The squad.
on the squad on the boat.
Yes, I can do that for you. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay, so we should talk about who they are quickly.
Okay.
Because if you look up in the left-hand corner, or the left-hand side of the screen, and you use your magnifying glass
Where the flag is?
below the flag.
Oh yeah. Look at that.
What?
Look at the boat underneath the flag. It's the CF 8069.
No.
Huh?
No.
I
Yeah.
thought
Are you fucking kidding me?
What'd I tell you?
Thank God they gave us
What'd I tell ya?
freaking magnifier glass.
so. I was looking, and I was like, I was looking at my pictures, and I'm like, why do we have these pictures of these people at the marina?
There's
the
the
marina.
fucking. I told you. There's a piece of the fucking boat. I fucking told you.
Look at that. Are you? Oh
my God! Yeah! I'm so good at this.
All right.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Take it
Now,
back.
I don't want to bring the mood down. What does that mean?
That means that's how she got on the island.
So that's how. That's it. Had to have been the boat had to get there. She
That's
took
the
another
only
boat.
other boat.
So
But-
we know
We have
that
an idea.
Jane Doe. We don't know who Jane Doe is yet.
We don't know who she
No.
is or why
But
she
we
was
know
going
that
there.
she stole this boat next to Ari's boat.
Well, she was on that boat.
She was on that boat.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? So, do we
So-
want to? Do we want
And someone brought up a good point. If we're paying attention, one of the young ladies that was the last one, Kim Sung, but she was looking at sailboats, but like 5 years ago, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
No, and the Jazzy Barstow who left with a dark-haired man was gone on
A boat.
Well, yes, but June 2000.
Right.
So was she just like on the boat for years?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
in
of
the
course she
marina
was.
for
Yeah,
years.
But we're
You
only
fish for food.
we're only supposed to see
right now
how she got on the
Right,
island,
so now
and that's where
we-
that's how
Alright.
I think she did
and
it.
that's how we know those two pictures are the clue. So we know that boat was in the marina. We know that boat was on the island.
Yep.
When she died.
So, do we look that up? Like, did we already solve the first thing?
I think
did,
I think
right?
so, but do you think that we should go through the suspects packets just
I think so, just to be sure. Just to
to be
Just
sure?
to get the info. But
Yep.
right now, again, objective one: find out how Jane Doe got to the island, and it looks like this boat with this specific thing right here is how it happened.
And
Okay.
there's no way if we did not have this little added thing, there's no way we would have done that.
Correct.
No way.
No.
I wonder if they got complaints after the Jamie Banks one. Like, how the fuck were we supposed to see the chalkboard? And they were like, oh, sorry.
All right, here's a
Here's the magnifying glass.
ring.
All right,
Yeah,
a couple of other
it's the
things.
same boat.
So
Yes.
speaking of boats, I also have
I'm
this.
so happy for myself.
We were given this. This
What
is
is it?
Ari's Captain Hooked. This is what he calls his boat. The
Yes.
1998 Blaze Runner.
You even get the
That's a-
floor plan of the stabbing cabin down
I
there.
know I was looking at it earlier to see if someone could hide, but I don't think they could. Based on what I saw.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
All right, so but that's that. All right, where do we want to go? What do we want to do here? We
I mean,
got.
do we-
to-
I don't know.
do we want to go through the suspects? Do we want to go through the witness statements? Do we want to go through a couple of the other photos?
I think we should we should just kind of go through briefly the witness statements,
Okay.
and like who they are, and just to kind of sort of lay it out there before we move to
Yeah.
objective two.
So here are a couple of the witnesses. I kind of combined some of the pictures here, but it's Dr. Kendra Matthews, who was a CEO. Oh, also, one thing I didn't scan was that brochure.
Oh yeah,
You have that?
Oh yeah.
we got it somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's right there.
this thing, what the hell did I do with it?
It's right here.
I don't know if there's any information on it. Yeah, if you show, you can see Nicole's screen there. It's just like a little like packet brochure type of thing. There might be some kind of information in that.
I don't know. I keep reading it and I don't see it.
Nothing.
So
It could just be like a red herring.
yeah.
I think I lost mine. I think I ate it for a snack. What the fuck? Oh, here it is. It says the Del Fuego Rehab Center, and it's one of these little guys here, catering to the prestigious clientele since 1976. And this is where you get Dr. Kendra Matthews, who's in it. She's the CEO, and it's a quote from her. It says, "You come to us as strangers on the most difficult journey of your lives, but you leave as family with maps in hand to fully direct you to continue down the road to recovery. Place your full trust in us, as we've never dealt with an addiction that we could not successfully help someone to overcome. Along with being a rehab facility, we also provide our clientele with the type of surroundings only found in a resort destination where the island breeze soothes the spirit and the chef's cuisine delights the taste buds. Accommodations.
Sounds great.
Each guest stays in their own rustic island cabin, providing a personal safe haven from the storms of life, while the common areas and activities ignite a strong sense of fellowship." Get it? Because there was a fire.
Ignite.
And even the photo on the thing shows like a little bonfire happening.
Yeah.
You see that? And it also shows you the proximity to LA and Long Beach. and
And
stuff like
Catalina
that.
Island, the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Wine mixer.
Fucking Catalina wine mixer. Serving leaders of society and the entertainment industry. And then the last thing, nestled on the plush private confines of Del Fuego Island, just 12 miles off the California coast, the Del Fuego Rehab Center is an oasis of help and healing where our award-winning staff nurtures minds, bodies, and spirits through both traditional and holistic approaches. Through intense one-on-one sessions, as well as supportive group therapy, we treat each individual's specific, unique needs. I don't know. So maybe just more of sort of telling you
Little
how
background,
close
little
it is to
exposition.
California. Yeah.
And that it's all fancy people.
And it's all
go there.
fancy people who go there. Some richies.
Yeah.
True. All right, so you want to do witness statements?
Sure.
Witness statements are
Yellow. The yellow. And
Right,
so
yeah.
we'll do these two people first so you can see what they look like. Here is Dr. Kendra Matthews, the CEO, and Ari Urowitz, security. Let's begin with Dr. Kendra Matthews. Davies, you guys want to read this bad boy?
Sure. First, I want to say that I speak for all of the staff here at the Del Fuego Rehab Center when I say we are deeply saddened by this tragic event. We will cooperate 100% with anything you need. I've been the CEO and physician in charge at the Del Fuego Rehab Center for the past 7 months. And for the last 5 years, Christopher King has worked for us as an addiction counselor. Christopher fills everyone with hope, almost from the moment they step foot onto the island. He knows how important that is to their journey since he was once in their shoes. He also knows firsthand what a difficult path they are embarking on and works tirelessly to clear the road of any obstacles that might cause them to stumble and fall. Granted, some of his methods might be a little unorthodox, i.e. death therapy.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you guys think death therapy is?
Weirdly, I will tell you because I saw it on Real Housewives.
Here we go.
Shannon Bedore and her husband were going through a very horrible marriage.
Oh, I know what
And-
death therapy is
yes,
now. I know.
so-
I
this.
remember
All right,
this. I know now.
Remember? So they
I
went
have
to
no idea.
therapy. They went
Okay.
to like a retreat, and a counselor made Shannon lay with like a grave over her head, and then David, her husband, had to like tell her all the things he loved about her and that he cared about her and what he was gonna miss and what he wished she had done differently. So she
What?
got to hear like what he would think if she were dead.
So if you give somebody eulogy, like that's what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
It's messed up.
It was inspired by Huck Finn. All right.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway.
Okay, so that's
Wow.
yes. Okay, however, we fully embrace a holistic approach to healing and have found his methods to be highly effective. I should also add that he's very well-respected TV counselor on the Sally Jesse Donahue show.
Oh, for
That's-
fuck's sake. That's just
that's a marriage of two. That's crazy. Okay. And has helped countless people through his efforts. There's even something in the works about giving him his own show. I believe the working title is Putting Out the Fires of Addiction
Oh,
with
no.
Christopher King.
Come on.
For the most part, Christopher's record here has been exemplary. Before I took over, there were a few minor
For the most part.
incidences
Yeah.
For
where
the
he
most part.
well, he used to sneak girlfriends out to the island. Oh, interesting.
Yes, it is.
We have a very strict policy against allowing anyone on the island who isn't a patient or a staff member. That rule wasn't exactly enforced by my predecessor, but after I came on board and hired Ari Urowitz, the problem was solved. Between Ari and his dog Scout, we've got the best security money can buy. Scout is truly amazing. I remember the first day he came to Del Fuego. He stepped one paw onto the island and immediately his ears perked up and he darted off into the bushes. It turned out one of Christopher's girlfriends was hiding somewhere on the other side of the island. It's a good thing Ari chased after him because Scout nearly ripped her arm off before Ari got there to make him release. Now all of the staff are well aware that if they're caught harboring guests, they will be fired. Not to mention the possibility of their guests also getting mauled to death.
True.
We've had no problems in that regard since. Every evening before he takes Captain Hook back to the mainland, Ari and Scout conduct a complete inspection of the island. Christopher calls it the Ari Safari. If there was
Jesus.
anyone on the island before they left, dead or alive, Scout would have found them.
All right, so Christopher King is definitely being painted as a terrible guy.
Yes.
Can I
But it
ask
might be a
question?
little too much. Yes.
I can't remember, how long has this woman been in her position?
7 months, she said.
Okay.
I believe. Wait.
Yes.
He's been there 5 years. She's been there 7 months.
Yes.
What 7 months before April?
What, like September? No. Yeah,
September?
I think so.
February, March, April. 7, yeah.
Okay.
You're right. September.
Mm.
Do you want to hear
Yeah.
what Ari has to say?
Yes.
Okay. I am the head of security for the Del Fuego Rehab Center, and I, along with my trusty sidekick Scout, he makes it sound like a goddamn superhero, keep the island safe from outsiders and protect patients from both themselves and each other. I also drive our boat, the Captain Hook, bringing employees and patients to and from the island each day. Scout, my highly trained security dog, is my first mate. This morning at 1:07 a.m., I got a call from our counselor, Chris King. He reported there'd been a fire in his cabin.
Okay.
All right, so it's in Chris. There it is. It was in Chris King's cabin.
Christopher King's cabin.
Putting out the fires of addiction
In his own cabin.
Setting fires in his cabin.
Wow.
So we know that Chris King brings girls. He sneaks girls onto the island, and the fire was in his cabin. Keep
I
that in
mean,
mind.
well, the case closed.
Yeah. He reported there'd been a fire. He thought it was caused by lightning,
Nah,
and said the
dude.
place went up freakishly quick and burned to a crisp, which is a weird thing to say about a building.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, the heavy rain put it out. After learning everyone was safe and accounted for, I decided to wait until daybreak to call in the authorities for a routine inspection. I arrived to the island at the same time as the fire department. Things got real very quickly. First, they found a lighter and a gas can, proving it was arson. Then they found a body under the rubble. For the record, Scout and I conducted an extensive security check yesterday evening before we left for the mainland. We walked the whole island to make sure no one was lurking around. It was our nightly routine, and King even started calling it the Ari Safari again.
That checks out.
Yeah. He thinks Johnny Cochran, he thinks he's Johnny Cochran with all his rhymes. And now that stupid phrase has caught on with the staff. Maybe I should train Scout to relieve himself inside King's secret cave he thinks no one knows about as a token of my gratitude.
Ooh,
Hello?
secret cave.
Hello? He has like a
King
little sex dungeon?
He's spelunking in this.
He's a spelunker.
He's a spelunker.
Wait,
That's what he
what?
is.
How-
Both.
Cave
Cave
climbing.
diving.
Oh,
Spelunking.
no, yeah. Okay.
Try to keep up.
Anyway.
Right. Woo.
All right.
Anyways, if there was another person, living or dead,
Everybody
another
relax.
weird thing to say, on Del Fuego Island, where when we left at dusk, Scout would have been all over them. Only the counselor and the 4 guests were there. I'd bet my mother's life on it. But with the cast of characters, I'm not really surprised all hell broke loose. Rest assured, one of them is guilty. I don't know who, but here's what I can tell you. Just after we stepped onto the island's dock yesterday, I found a motherload of liquor in Jack Danner's suitcase. I'm talking enough booze to get Rhode Island drunk. Now, hang on. Does he mean the whole state of Rhode Island drunk, or does he mean
Like-
to a level of which people only in Rhode Island can get?
I don't know. I mean, I used to get pretty drunk in Rhode Island.
I've
Yeah,
also
you
been
get
pretty
Rhode
drunk in
Island drunk.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Rhode
No, I
Island
think
drunk
he
is
means
pretty-
the populace.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because Rhode Island drunk is a real thing. If you haven't been down Providence,
No,
it
no,
is a real thing.
Wild
Fair
West.
enough.
It's Wild West.
How clueless could this dude be? It's not like this is a rehab center or anything. Told him nicely it wasn't a cruise, and he started removing bottles. That moron went ballistic. He shoved me up against a pylon, then started screaming and swearing in my face. Amongst the many assorted, colorful, and creative expletives, he said, "Put it back, or I'll mess you up so bad your own mother won't even recognize you." Next page. By the way, I want to take an aside too to realize the quality of paper that this is printed on is
It is a
Insane.
good, thick
Excellent.
excellent.
It's excellent.
paper.
Dude.
For the price, especially.
I know.
The price.
Dude had
God.
no business mentioning my mother, and he was getting unruly, so I had to put him into a mounted choke position.
I think this guy's done some training.
King tried to intervene, but got pushed into the water somehow and started screaming like a sopranic schoolgirl that he had herniated a disc. What do you even do with a guy like that? After that episode, I chatted with Mr. Danner and impressed upon him how much nicer it'd be in his cabin with no booze than in a jail cell with a guy named Bruce. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He agreed to let me take a stash, and I agreed to release him. No doubt Jack Danner is an imbecile of epic proportions, but I can't tell you if he's a murderer. I can tell you that I spent over 10 years in Chayatet,
Something.
13 and studied Krav Maga for over 20.
Oh, he does karate. Like
He does
you.
karate like me.
Like you.
He's
And
the,
if this
he's the
dude-
real deal, this guy.
Would shove me up against a post like that. I'm sure he had no trouble overpowering an average person.
Oh.
As for Rob Knox, back at the Apollonia Marina, a reporter asked him for some questions, and I saw him grab her wrist like he wanted to rip it off. I was about to intervene when she took off. I gave him the eye, and trust me, he knew what it meant.
I bet.
Paula May, just wow. She may have been a great model, but there's something seriously up with her. Getting her to pose for a picture in front of the boat felt like trying to get an angry walrus on a surfboard. What the hell is that metaphor?
That's a fat joke. It's not good.
The whole boat ride, she just glowered at us. Later in the dining room, she freaked out on a waitress, then cornered me, demanding to know the island the island was paparazzi free. It was, but even still, that woman needs to chill big time. Then there's Miss Ava Lawrence. Never met a chick so stuck up, and I live in California. Acts like she's got no business being there. Hello, you're a drug addict.
Hello.
Jeez.
Anyway, there's one
That's a
thing I
joke.
can give her credit for. Chris King was getting a bit too friendly with her during the group photo. So just after the flash snaps, she steps on his toe, pretends to lose her balance, and knees him hard right where it counts. Dude walked funny for an hour. She pretended it was an accident and then acted sorry. But if I've been around martial arts long enough to tell when someone knows what they're doing. This guy's a real hardo, huh?
This guy's having a time, yeah.
A couple days ago, Mr. King was accused of taking pills from a drug cabinet by Maria, one of our housekeepers.
Wait a minute. Ding, ding, ding.
After she came to me, King claimed he actually caught her stealing the pills. I checked her bag. Lo and behold, there was a full bottle of Percocets in there. The situation felt weird to me, because Maria doesn't seem like the type. She's one of those vegans, and quite frankly, I've never trusted King. Major reason being that my dog despises that dude. You can always tell.
Dogs know.
You know?
Dogs know.
That being said, Scout worshipped the ground Maria walked on. When Scout wasn't on duty, he followed her everywhere, like he was on a personal protection unit. Like our dog over here.
Yeah.
Just like
he's on alert right now.
Yeah, high alert.
So hold on a sec. Don't you think it's kind of, maybe they're making it too clear, but it feels like Maria, who we already kind of suspected anyway, could be Jane Doe because she worked at this place. She was there 3 days before the fire. She now has a direct interaction with Christopher King, who, again, I feel like they might be laying it on too thick. That's why I'm a little skeptical of this being the
Why
murderer
would she
and
take a
person.
sailboat?
Why would she go back there? I don't know. But I do know she could probably operate around the island and Scout wouldn't lose his mind.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I was thinking.
you know,
He
Scout
wouldn't-
likes her.
He wouldn't
and
attack her.
He would know her.
He wouldn't attack her. He knows her. She works there. He loves her. And so Artie could look at part of the island. Scout could look at the other. And they're like, oh, it's all set. And she could easily hide there.
Yeah.
But then go back to the mainland, then steal a sailboat and come back out.
No, I think she might have gone out there that night.
But remember, it said her car was at home,
there.
though.
But she might have taken that boat and followed them back out there. And she's probably pissed at Christopher King. Maybe she wanted to expose him because he's the one that cost her job.
Like, he's really.
So
the
how'd
one
she get
doing
from her
drugs.
house to the marina?
She could have
mean,
took
she
a
could-
taxi.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, but
True.
The two things too, though, is that he notes that Ava Lawrence knows martial arts, and Jack Danner went ballistic.
Jack Danner went ballistic, and it sounds like all of them can kind of handle themselves, and all of them could be like pushed over the edge.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Except Christopher King got pushed in the water and cried like a little baby.
Yes,
that's true.
ooh,
So
that is a good point.
just keep that in mind too. He kind of painted him to be a wimp,
Right.
a sketchy wimp, but a wimp.
Yep.
But he also mentions, he has no love for Chris King.
Yeah.
At all.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does. He seems to be the least like tough compared to all the other characters. He sees like, you know, Ava Lawrence can handle herself. He's like, Paula May. She was a pill.
Yeah.
All these other guys were kind of tough. So.
Well, we now know too that Chris King can get people in and out of the island with his little cave system.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
we do
But
know
then-
that.
But then other people probably knew about the cave too. So Maria would have known about it.
Maybe
Just
yes.
to keep
If
bitch.
Eurowitz and Maria were close,
Yes.
he probably told her about it too.
He could be a bit of a red herring.
He
All right,
could
where do we want to go next? We want to go to another witness statement. Here are the other witnesses. So you saw the pictures of Ari and Dr. Was it Kendra? Here is Wendy Enders. We're gonna hear from soon.
She's a waitress.
She's a waitress. You have Audrey Collins is a reporter, and Stephen Tenenbaum is a producer.
So I just go to voices, and what would Stephen Tenenbaum sound like? Maybe a little like Harvey Firestein. Maybe.
Maybe. Who do you want to go to next?
I have Wendy Enders in front of me, so I can go ahead and do that one.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I've worked at the Del Fuego Rehab Center for the past 2 years on the wait staff. I've always enjoyed meeting all the famous celebrities, and most of them have been really nice.
Front and back.
Just before the dinner shift, I saw Paula standing over by the window with a glass in her hand, staring out towards the water. I was thrilled, as I've always been one of her biggest fans. She's not the same Paula May now, but I think she still looks good. I've never understood why some people think you have to be as thin as a rail to be attractive. Anyway, I grabbed my camera out of my purse and called out to her so I could get a picture. She freaked out sideways and threw her glass at me. It just missed my head as it smashed into the wall. Then she stormed over and yelled in my face, "Give me that film or cram that camera down your skinny little throat." I was shaking but managed to get the film out. She grabbed it and stormed out of the room. It was awful. When Ari heard what happened, he came up and apologized to me because he hadn't briefed me on Paula's issue with cameras. That calmed me down a bit, and I asked how sure he could be that there weren't any paparazzi lurking somewhere on the island. But he assured me that he and Scout would make sure the island was completely secure and devoid of such unsavory life forms. Ari always makes me laugh with the weird way he talks, but he and Scout really do a great job of keeping us safe on the island. When I got back to work, I was still a bit shaky and unfortunately ended up dumping a whole big serving tray of potato salad into Jack Danner's lap. He was nice about it, though, and told me I could make it up to him by going for a stroll around the island with him after dinner. I told him we weren't allowed to fraternize with the guests. Then he winked at me and told me I didn't know what I was missing, which was kind of creepy. But with those warm brown eyes, it didn't bother me too much.
Oh.
Anyway, one thing I can say about my job here is that it's never boring. Wendy.
Okay. So that was Wendy. A couple of anecdotes there, running into a couple of our suspects. Anything jump out to you guys?
We know that so someone mentioned too that what's her name doesn't like getting her picture taken in front of the boat. I just don't think she likes getting her picture taken anyway. And she's paranoid.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes,
So-
because she is the one who was a model and is sounds like maybe she's put on more weight than she was supposed to put on.
I'm sure she looks wonderful.
I do as well, Ryan.
We
not
have her
something-
picture, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
matter of fact, we do.
She looked fine to me.
Looks fine to me.
I would say so as well. Now, there's some soot. There's some soot there,
soot.
but that's
Yeah.
Paula May.
Yeah.
This looks like someone worked her over a little bit too. She got a little bruise on her nose there.
Yeah,
They all look pretty dirty.
they don't look right. Yeah. All right, should we go to another witness?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Aubrey Collins.
You got it?
Okay. I recently became a reporter for the
Ugh.
Hollywood Hearsay.
Cursive.
I know, right?
We're a small gossip paper based in LA. The first assignment I've been given was to track down Rob Knox and see if the rumors were true that he was going into rehab for a gambling addiction. My editor thought it presented a unique story, considering the man runs a high-profile security company, but can't keep his own fortune safe from himself. I found him at the Apollonia Marina, waiting to board the boat the captain hooked to the Del Fuego Rehab Center. Being that it was my first assignment, I was super excited, as well as more than a little nervous. Maybe I should have worked up to my question, but it came right out fighting. I came out fighting right out of the box. I said, "My name is Audrey Collins with the Hollywood Hearsay. Is it true that you're going to rehab for addiction to gambling?" I never expected him to act the way he did. He grabbed me hard by the wrist and glared at me with the most intense look of hatred I've ever seen. Then he said, "You don't know who you're messing with, lady. Bury this or I'll bury you."
Ooh.
He glared a few seconds longer. It felt like forever. Then he let go of my wrist. I freaked, ran off to my car, and drove back to the paper. My editor wasn't exactly impressed that I took off, but she understood. She wanted to run with what we had there, but I decided to wait until I could get a little bit more. I guess with him now also being a murder suspect, we have that more she was talking about. I'll never forget the look of cold, pure hatred in his eyes. All I did was ask him a question. I shudder that what he'd do to someone who really crossed him.
Okay. Dang. So Rob Knox. Let's get a look at Rob Knox, shall we? People want to see Rob Knox.
He looks like a street tough.
He does. I don't trust this guy. Hey, look at you, beard guy. Hey, I got a beard going. I'm beard guy.
I think he looks perfectly nice.
Oh, stop it.
He's wearing a polo shirt.
He kind of looks like a mix of a couple different people.
He's like Russell Crowe
and like a Hemsworth-ish and like Hugh Jackman, kind of.
Yeah, but of all the Hemsworths, he looks like the one that was in Westworld.
Yeah, not the really
the one who pissed in that gene pool, huh?
Listen.
All right, let's go to Tannenbaum, and then that's
You want to read this one? Do you want me to do it in the Harvey Firestein voice?
Of course I do.
Ava B. Lawrence is currently under contract at Hollywood Hills Studios as an actress.
I like that.
Are you gonna do that the whole time?
I can't. I'm gonna lose my
It's
voice.
only one page. You can do it.
She's one of our biggest names. Ava has done 4 films with us, and we are currently in production on her 5th.
It's pretty good, Harvey Firestein.
So good.
A really strong Firestein.
She's simply box office gold. Ava gives 110% when the cameras are rolling and has an uncanny ability to memorize her lines almost instantly. Even though she already knows how to play the part of a charming young actress, Ava can be difficult to work with as she demands perfection from herself and everyone else. Even the slightest screw up for another actor, cameraman, caterer, and one of her hairs is out of place and she completely loses it.
I'm going a little Coach Steve the longer I do it.
It's a little,
it's gonna
a little bit of Judy Davey in there.
Don't bring my mother into
It's a
this.
little
How
bit.
dare you?
Leave her out of this.
Seriously. I spoke with her about getting help and told her that if she didn't check into rehab ASAP, she was fired. She agreed and said she'd never let anything stand in the way of her being the best actress she could be. Stupidly, I believed her. In my defense, she's one heck of an actress. For a while, she seemed fine and showed no signs of using. But over the next few weeks, Ava's behavior became increasingly worse. Several times, she took out her anger on inanimate objects. After hearing that she had yet another violent outburst on the set, this time destroying a $250,000 camera, I gave instructions for Ava to go directly to her trailer and wait for me. She blew me off, left the set, crashing into my Bentley on the way out.
Oh, boy.
This bitch. She took off and was soon being chased by Apollonia Police Department. They were only able to catch up with her, ironically, after her car ran out of gas directly in front of a theater where the current movie, Busted, was playing.
Busted.
Her current movie, by the way. Her lawyers are working a deal to keep her out of jail and the story out of the press. I'm not sure how they managed it, but I'm sure it wasn't cheap. I don't care, though. I just want her to get clean so she can finish the latest superhero film. Of course, it's all about money with this guy, right? It's all about money with this guy.
It is. Come on. Care about the person.
I have a feeling those are going to be really popular one day.
He knew it. He knew it back in 01.
I know.
Superhero movies.
I've known Ava for many years. She was around 10. So since she was around 10, in fact, sorry, I can't read. She'd come for hours and hours and just sit there watching her mother act. Barbara was a great actress in her day, too. Ava may be spoiled, prissy, and hard to get along with at times, but she is no way capable of murder.
Murder.
Stephen Tannenbaum.
Here she is. Ava B. Lawrence.
She looks dead,
She looks sneaky dead.
right?
A little bit.
She needs some color.
Well, she had just been through a traumatic thing. She just was in a fire.
But she looks like-
and she's coming off of cocaine.
She's right. She's on the cocaine.
On that
She's
booger,
on-
dead booger
She's
sugar.
on.
And
on the
she's
way
drinking
down.
too. I mean,
She got the long blonde hair though going.
Yeah.
I love how she did the over the shoulder for the mugshot too.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. All right. That's
All right.
Ava B. Lawrence.
Now what? So our goal now, that's everybody. Those are all the witness statements.
That's all the witnesses.
All the
Yep.
witness statements. So we still have person of interest forms, interrogation, and each suspect also came with them like a random other thing. They all have a random other thing. And we have a couple more crime scene photos too, if you guys want to take a look at.
But
Yeah, once
again, the goal is to know how she got on the island. And I
I think we got it.
think
I
we
feel
got
like we might know how.
We know
Yeah.
how she got on the island.
So should
you
we
wanna
do
check?
that now, or should we do the? Do you want to just skip to that part?
Yeah, I would say do that now and then see what the
And then see what the second one, because the
objective
second one's
might
going to be all this, all the witness tape, all the.
What
Right.
does
Interviews.
All right, what do you guys think in the chat? Do you
I was
think
going to say, what is the chat thing? Should we keep
chat
reading or should
Jordan
we
and
do
help us
Mac
here.
and the crew? We're right now. We're looking at objective 1. Find out how Jane Doe got to the island, and we have a photo. Let me pull the photo up here for the group once again. That basically. Hold on a sec.
Can you split the screen, Rich? Can you do both photos next to each other or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, what am I, Disney Pixar? No. So I have this one here. If you look at this, because I don't think it wouldn't be very clear anyway.
And the other thing
Right.
too is it doesn't matter. The question is, how did she get on the island? We know that Captain Hook was on the other side, was on the mainland. So there's no way she could have got on that boat.
Right. So basically, that
It had
boat
to have been that boat.
next to the team photo, that boat, and then you have the crime scene photo of the burned cabin, and there is a little piece of like debris that looks like it broke off and crashed into this. Now the problem is there more boat in the water, or maybe
the boat burned? Maybe the boat was part of the thing that burned.
Yeah.
Or it's sunk or
Yeah.
maybe the boat was on the island during the storm.
right.
And that piece came up. So like we might just be seeing one part of the boat, but in any case, we know that that boat that was at the marina was now at the island.
Yeah, I think the boat. All right, so
I got this right here. I got the bonus envelope A. Ready to
And you
rock.
think that's all we need to know? Like we don't need to know.
That's all we
if-
need to know. It was
Okay.
on that specific boat.
Because remember, I think that's where we got held up
the
last
first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we tried to do too much for the first objective.
All right. So is that what everybody?
Are we good with the boat?
All right, I am looking it up right now. How did Jane Doe get to the island? Prove how Jane Doe got to Del Fuego Island to move on to the next part of the case. It says, how did Jane Doe get onto the island? And there are 8 choices.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
All right. She swam from the mainland.
Impossible.
No,
No.
She hid inside the Captain Hooked.
No.
I don't think so.
She was smuggled inside someone's luggage.
No,
No.
because he checks all the luggage.
She was already on the island when they arrived.
No.
No,
I think there's a chance of that, but no.
No. Because remember, what's her name went home.
Right. She took a separate boat.
There it is.
Yes.
The other one's just for clarity. She jumped from a plane with a parachute.
And
She was
hey,
she was disguised as someone else. I love a good disguise. And she took a one-person submarine.
she took another boat.
she definitely took a submarine.
She took a separate boat.
There
Check
was a
answer.
submarine.
Nice work, detective. How
Good
do you
job.
prove it? All right.
The boat number.
No,
Here
well,
we
yeah.
go.
So the pictures.
Yeah.
What 2 documents prove that Jane Doe took a second boat to the island?
So read the dates on the pictures.
These two photos.
Holy smokes. And it is every single goddamn thing we have.
So we got the picture
It's
dated.
So let me, hold on a second. It would be
it would be
CSI photo burned building, right?
Yep.
yes.
CSI photo burned building. And it would be
CSI photo,
no
team
group,
photo,
group photo at
group
Marina.
photo, group,
Yeah.
group photo at Marina, and the CSI crime photo.
All right, I'm gonna go with those. Check answer. You solved it. You son of a bitch. Nice job, Nicole. Jane Doe took another boat that was docked at the marina. Thanks to those little numbers there. Now open the envelope marked bonus envelope A
All right.
to send the dive team out to investigate the shipwreck.
Let's.
Oh, I did not see this happening.
I did not see that.
this.
I'm excited.
So
I
I
did not see this
apologize.
coming.
I have not scanned in this other stuff. We still have the interrogation and stuff to do, but I literally, as you can tell, didn't read this. It's still right here.
We got Chunkies and Slim Jims
What?
and a Game Boy Color. So we're
Okay. Objective 2. Who is Jane
All right.
Doe?
Okay.
okay. So we're well on our way here.
Okay.
All right. So now.
All right. Sorry, folks. Here we go. What do we have? It looks like we have a picture of evidence here.
Is 5? Is that a puka shell necklace I see? That's a sand dollar. Never mind.
No, that's some sort of.
Because one of them was wearing a puka shell
Yep, this is like some sort of
symbol.
All right. You guys read this. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is because there's only 4 documents. I'm going to take these 2 and scan them in real quick, just so people can see them
I'll
up in the
read.
thing.
I'll read the underwater crime scene.
Yeah,
report.
go ahead.
Again, we haven't seen any of this stuff, so this is all brand new. We received a tip from an independent investigator concerning the murder of an unidentified Jane Doe found in 2001 on the island of Del Fuego and believed it warranted further investigation. The investigator found washed-up remnants of a sunken ship on the shore of Del Fuego Island, matching a sailboat known to be docked in the Apollonia Marina 12 miles north, less than 24 hours earlier. The evidence convinced us that Jane Doe had taken that sailboat from Apollonia Marina to Del Fuego Island, and that boat capsized offshore. In response to the new information, we conducted a complete forensic dive to look for the wreck and any possible clues in the unsolved cold case. Our dive team, consisting of Lieutenant Gary LaGrange and Stu Hansen, was dispatched to the location, arriving approximately at 2:15 p.m. After spending about an hour exploring the area near Del Fuego Island, we discovered a sunken boat about 200 yards offshore on the island. The boat appeared to match the description of the boat we were looking for. We were unable to collect any valuable information or evidence from the actual boat, but Officer Hansen found a sealed plastic bag inside the boat's water weight storage compartment. The contents of the bag were brought back to headquarters for analysis and are detailed within this report. The bag includes a map of the island with instructions written for Jane Doe on how to get to the island the night of the murder. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
Conclusions. The map with the instructions for Jane Doe confirms that the items we found belong to the Jane Doe who was murdered on Del Fuego Island back in April 2001. Due to the age of the items and the location over the past few decades, we were unable to retrieve any worthwhile forensic evidence such as saliva, fingerprints, or other DNA sources. We are still unable to determine the identity of Jane Doe, but believe the additional investigation is warranted, and a team of skilled detectives may be, like us,
That's us.
like us,
You came to the right place, gang.
may be able to ascertain the identity of Jane Doe and perhaps even her killer with the additional evidence we found. And then we have an inventory list of things that were found. Apparently it was Newman from Seinfeld because number 1 is a chunky bar and wrappers.
Gross.
1 unopened, 1 opened and empty, 1 partially consumed. Who eats half a chunky?
How do they know it's partially consumed underwater for whatever?
It was in a sealed bag, remember?
Oh, right.
Right, but it's mixed nuts and raisin.
Ew.
Oh, right.
Oh, so it can't be what's his name because they have an allergy.
It's not that.
It's not that one girl who has a nut allergy.
It can't be the one with the nut allergy.
All right, who had the nut allergy? So I could toss her out as well.
Thanks, right here. This one.
It was
Right here.
Was it
Jazzy Barstow. Jazzy Barstow had allergic to nuts and raisins.
Yeah.
Jazzy Barstow. All right, so she's
Yeah.
out.
Not Jazzy.
All right. Let me do this for the group here for the people on the YouTube.
And like many people are saying in the chat, we know now that potentially the person had to swim. So it probably isn't Kim's son.
Oh, we did. Sorry, I missed that. So somebody had to swim.
Well, the boat was crashed 200 yards off. The
Oh.
island.
Okay.
So, yeah, not Jazzy, not Son, because she can't swim, and probably not the girl with the missing toe.
Lanahan. So
Not-
I'm looking at it as either Emma Lynn Simpson or Maria Gonsalves, right?
Is the old monster.
But do we know for a fact that they had to swim, or did it? Do we think she made it and then the storm took it away?
It seems like I thought they were saying that it crashed offshore.
Maybe. Okay.
200 yards. And then
Yeah.
it capsized. That's what they said.
So
So
did you
it-
guys just read the underwater crime scene report? Did you read the other thing? This thing?
I read I read that. So we didn't read the map. So the map said this was drawn for her. This was in the bag.
This was in the bag. It says there will be a boat with keys in it at the marina, 2 slips down from the one they take to the island. Captain Hooked. Leave between 9:30 and 10 on April 22nd. Approach from due south to avoid dangerous rocks.
So it sounds like she hit because it said the boat capsized. So my guess is that the boat capsized and then she swam.
Yeah.
because it was only 200 yards at that point. They found the boat 200 yards from the island.
Okay, so she had to
Which
swim, so that would
You
rule
could swim.
out. That would rule
Well,
out.
they're saying, yeah.
So that would rule out
but-
what's her name?
But everyone
We
had
knew that, though.
asthma and everyone had contacts, right?
Yes.
Mhm, almost everyone, yeah, I think.
Well,
Oh, so you know.
because there's contacts and an inhaler. In 9 is contacts, 12 is the inhaler. So whoever this app is has
So one of them doesn't.
inhaler and contacts.
Okay, may I?
Yes.
No.
Oh.
All right, so we've basically gotten it down to 2 people, right?
So we have it as
Wait, so this, this
Yes.
right here,
That
property-
9 is a contact case.
and
9
12
is a
an inhaler.
contact case. 1's the chunky. 2's a money clip. Sorry, we have the list right here. 3 pocket knife, 4 flashlight, 5 necklace, tan rope with 2 medallions. 1 medallion has a mysterious symbol inscribed on it. Did you already read this? Sorry.
No.
No.
Has a mysterious symbol inscribed on it, unable to make out the writing on the smaller one. 6, dental floss with the inscription, floss like a boss. Somewhat used. Number 7, Paula May passion pink lip gloss.
Which
Slightly
Paula May,
used.
there was an ad for her on the newspaper. Just
Yes. She's
So-
also here.
So who?
Go ahead.
Sorry. So we know it's not Jazzy Barstow.
Well, wait, because we also know there's a bracelet and jewelry with 5 aquamarine gemstones. Inscription on the back of the charm reads "Happy Birthday."
All right. So
What-
who's Aquamarine Gemstones? What month is Aquamarine?
March.
Okay. You're March, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know that? Okay.
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
Let's see. These people. Okay, so I'm looking for a March date of birth.
Oh.
So Jazzy's date of birth is January 28th, 1980.
It's Lanahan, 9 Toes Lanahan,
Shit.
But
and I'm not done yet.
okay.
So someone's date of birth, Emma Lynn Simpson's birth date is covered.
Wait. Because
No.
Emma's mom and dad were going to take her for
her
her
birthday.
birthday in March.
Yes.
Her birthday is March 11th. She disappeared March 10th. So
Folks,
she's a March birthday.
what is going on?
We are flying right now.
We're humdinging. So let me see.
Let me see.
Let me just redo this for all of the items here. 8 was a compass. 9 was contact lens case, no name brand, prescription contacts for 2040, 2050 vision. Do any of the things say specifically the vision, or just?
I'm
if they
looking
have
at hers right now. She does have asthma and anxiety attacks.
bracelet,
And-
And
jewelry.
who wears contacts, lenses, or glasses. Emmeline Simpson has an appendectomy scar and wears contact lenses or glasses.
There you go. Boom. She's the only one that has all 3 of those. She's the only one that has contacts, asthma, and a March birthday.
Ooh, and Paul, there's a Slim Jim, right?
Yes.
Maria is a vegan.
Oh, yeah.
Maria.
Yep.
So, all right. Holy
So
shit.
she wouldn't have a Slim Jim.
Oh, by the
I'm
way,
getting so excited. I'm throwing things.
I'm throwing
This is
things, too.
exciting.
The H, by the way, that's is that the 4-H symbol on the
Where?
necklace?
Where on the necklace?
I don't know about 4-H.
I don't know shit about 4-H. Somebody's
She
gonna
was
have
in.
that.
She was in
chat.
4-H.
What is 3?
Oh,
The
boy.
pocket knife, Slice of Heaven brand.
So by the way, yeah, purple asthma inhaler by Easy Breathe used beef jerky, the spicy flavor, partially eaten but torn, no bite marks. Nintendo Game Boy Color dark purple with Ms. Pac-Man game cartridge inside.
By the way, not a game that was for. I don't think that was a game for that, but that's fine.
Maybe not. Wait a minute. So, because the only reason we ruled out Lanahan was because we assumed they would have mentioned the no toe, but that's really it, right?
It's an intact skeleton. She doesn't have an intact skeleton, and she was missing years prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so then how is this her now?
It's not. It's Simpson.
I think it's Simpson.
It's Emmeline Simpson.
When did Simpson go missing?
A month
Sure, he'll
before.
fight with her parents. She might a month before 3/11.
Wait, hold on a
3/10.
second. Hold on a second. Sorry, I'm behind here. Where's Emmeline Simpson's date of birth?
So it was filed 3/11, and they said they were going to take her for her birthday. She left the day before her birthday, which was 3/10.
Got it. Okay, thank you. So the only people, so we didn't really know her birthday until that detail. So of
Right.
the other 4 women, the only one that had a March birthday was Lanahan, but it's not Lanahan.
And Lanahan is missing a toe, right? So his girlfriend gave up her toe.
So we're looking at Emma Lynn Simpson.
Which has to be her.
All right.
The three things that give it away are the contacts, the inhaler,
The beef jerky.
the beef jerky, and the bracelet that her birthday's in March.
So
yeah, 'cause
should we
it's
should we
someone-
push through?
Yeah, let's see.
All right.
It can't be Nine Toes Lanahan.
No.
So you guys are saying it's not 9 Tones Lanahan. All right. So let me get this ready. All right. How's chat feeling about this? We riding high? We flying high?
And she wanted to be a model, which would put her in.
Wait, sorry. Somebody wants a missing person report again. Whose do you
Okay.
want?
Whose do you want?
Probably Emmeline Simpson's, right?
All right, let me read it again
If that's who we're saying it is,
because I've been
that's a
pouring
good
over.
call,
I've been
Jordan.
pouring over this
Pull
thing.
that up
Okay.
again.
So Emmeline Simpson, she was entered date. You see the date 3/11. That's the date. Her parents said they filed it the night before she left, which was 3/10. And then she said doesn't have a car. Talked about going. She left for LA the day before her birthday. She has, if you look up at the top, she has wears contact lenses or glasses, albuterol inhaler. She was born in March, so all of those things kind of keep it together. And I think that H symbol on her necklace is a 4-H symbol. I think. She was in 4-H club, which is a farm girl club, basically. If you don't know anything about 4-H, it's like basically like a future homemakers of America club. I'm not kidding.
No, it's like for
It's
No,
for
it's
farm
outdoors.
animals.
it's
It's
for
outdoors.
Yeah,
animals.
but that's
stuff.
part of it. That's part of it. No, it's not. Look up 4-H.
We love outdoor stuff. All right, so you ready? So let's see what it says.
Like, can we just walk through? Why don't we just real
Yeah, of course.
quick?
Yeah.
Because we went kind of fast, just for everybody to walk through why it's not everybody else. Just brief,
Okay.
like really quick. Like, pull up the missing person for.
Well, no, let me just start right here and say, because did she have to swim? Right, she had to swim a little bit.
She had to swim.
Yes.
So it is not.
It can't be Sunrose Kim.
It cannot be Sunrose Kim because in the narrative report it says my daughter
swim.
can't swim,
Right. Right.
so she's out. Lanahan had the missing toe,
Yes.
so it's not her. Maria Gonzalez was not born in March,
And she's a vegan.
And she's a vegan.
and she wouldn't eat the Slim Jim.
Right.
And Jasmine
Is a
had
nut allergy.
the nut allergy
And a raisin allergy.
Yeah.
and a raisin
she-
allergy.
Yeah, so she couldn't eat. She couldn't eat the chunky.
No.
Okay,
And one of the chunkies was eaten. So it has to be.
it has to be
Emma
It
Simpson.
has to be Emma.
Emma Lynn Simpson.
If it's not Emma, I'm gonna break the computer. Just so
I will
you know.
throw this computer, one of the 2 computer monitors, the less expensive one, out the window.
All right, so here's what it says. Ready? Who is Jane Doe? Which of these 5 items is needed to identify Jane Doe? Money clip,
Nope.
No.
pocket knife,
Nope.
No.
flashlight,
Nope.
No.
necklace,
No.
Nope.
floss.
No.
Would have to be the necklace, I guess.
But-
Wait, no, wait, hang on. All right, we gotta go back to the drawing board.
Yep.
Wait.
And then there's another list of 5 items too, but they're 2 just separate ones. So the other one, just so for your sake, is
Can
compass.
you see? Oh, wait. Let me see the.
I was trying to see what it said, but I couldn't.
On the
get it.
necklace?
Yeah.
The
I
other
couldn't
one,
see it.
the other one, just so you know, it says which of these 5 items is needed: compass, contact lenses, bracelet, inhaler, Game Boy.
So that would be bracelet, right?
Oh, for Christ's sake!
Okay. So what's the list of the things that we need?
We need which of these? Hold on a second. Do I have that up here? So let's.
Looking at the thing on the necklace.
Well, I also was going to.
These are all the items. So it says, so for who is Jane Doe, which of these 5 items is needed to identify Jane Doe? And there's 2 groups of 5. The first group is money clip, pocket knife, flashlight, necklace, floss. So could any of those possibly identify her? So let's look at it. The money clip with cash, brass anchor billfold with 3 1s and a 20. I don't think that really helps. The pocket knife, slice of heaven brand, used condition. The flashlight, brand name wore off, AA battery inside, very corroded. The necklace, tan rope with 2 medallions. 1 medallion has a mysterious symbol inscribed on it, unable to make out the writing on the smaller one. And the floss says floss like a boss. Inscription somewhat used.
We can't see what the necklace
It
says.
says something like bust.
Okay, so what about this? One happy hen from the
Okay.
chat says the symbol on the necklace is an astrological sign.
Okay. Do you know-
Yeah, I
Do we
think
know
that's right.
Do we
Do
know
you know
which
what it
sign it
is?
is?
So what sign is rich?
All right, so
Is
we
that
got
Aries?
Is it? What sign are you?
yeah, Aries sounds right.
Or,
Hold on.
No, maybe not.
If her birthday is
March
March
10th.
10th,
So
what
she would
is
be
it?
the.
Oh,
'Cause it goes to
Pisces.
the-
Oh no,
she's-
Jordan's right. Pisces. We're Pisces. Is that a Pisces sign?
But-
Okay, so Pisces, February 20th.
Pisces is a
to
fish,
March
isn't it?
20th.
What is that? What is that H thing?
is that the
Astro
symbol
signs.
for Pisces?
I gotta
And
look
that
up
would make
astro
sense.
signs?
No, that would make sense. That's what the. I think that's what the
Yes,
thing
they're
says.
telling us that it's
But that's what the-
Pisces.
If you look
Yes,
at, if you
it
use
is.
Oh,
the,
perfect.
but
Good
hey,
job,
by the
dude.
way, if you use this, you can make out that it says Pisces.
It says Pisces.
Really?
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
job, everybody. All right, so I'm going to go back to that one and click necklace. Oop, wait a minute. The fudge? Okay. Wait, where?
No, does it say
necklace-
Pisces?
Well, it's a Pisces symbol on the other side. That's
Yeah.
the Pisces symbol.
It's the necklace.
Yeah.
And then
So the
which
necklace and the bracelet.
necklace and bracelet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all the
That's the astrological stuff.
That tells you when her birthday is.
Yeah.
bracelet. All right, so I'm going to click on necklace and bracelet. Are we
Is
ready?
it just one from each?
Good question. I think so. It says which of these 5 items is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be
Which,
those.
right? Which would be like
One.
one.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to click these 2. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, it says the jewelry, huh? You might be onto something. Which of the missing girls would carry that jewelry?
Emma.
Emma Simpson.
Emma Lynn Simpson. Final answer?
Final answer.
Final answer.
Next. You solved it. Emma Lynn Simpson is Jane Doe. You son of a bitch. All right.
She likes to floss like a boss.
She likes to floss like a boss. Emma Lynn.
And that big gap tooth.
Nice. We're flying today, team.
All right, so-
This is
So
Come
put
on,
her
gang.
picture up now again. Put her picture up.
easier than
Whose picture?
Emmeline Simpson. So we
There she
know
is.
who our Jane Doe is.
Oh. Where's Emma Lynn?
You're looking at Emma Lynn Simpson. Or let me put up this. Where's the other picture?
No, I'll do this one. I got this one, Dave.
Oh, she looks better in this one.
No, what it's yeah,
she is.
that's the one.
Right.
There she is right there.
Don't disparage the dead.
All right, gang. So you know what that means. Bonus envelope B.
Bonus B. We're having fun, huh?
We are.
Yeah,
We're
we are
having a
having
great
fun.
time. We're having a great time. Thanks everybody for following along and enjoying the chat.
I know. One happy hen. Thank you for knowing your astrology.
All right,
All right, what do we got?
objective
Yes.
number 3.
Who done it?
Davey's right. Convict the killer.
Woo!
Who done it?
All right. We are our desk right now, our workspace is an absolute dumpster fire.
So
right
is mine. Mine
But
is
we're,
a
but we're doing well. We are in chaos and
It's a mess right now.
working. It's working.
All right, we have 2 extra things.
Got 3
Which
now. Oh no.
now. Ooh, Smithers Investigations.
I only
Two.
have 2. Here's
I
what
only
I'm
have
gonna
2
do.
too.
We also have some of the interrogations and persons of interest, which we haven't done yet, which I think we're going to need to do.
We
But
are gonna
after
need it
this.
for this one, yeah.
After we read these, I think.
Let me. Should I scan these in, or just read them?
Why don't you scan them in actually?
Yeah, scan them in because people like to see
Let's
them.
take a minute. Let's take a sip. Let's take a sip.
Yeah.
Take a
Let's
break
check in.
here.
How's everyone in the chat doing?
Yeah, let's talk.
What's
Let's talk
going
to
on?
chat for a little
You
bit.
enjoying it? What can we do differently? Let us know.
Nothing, because we're killing it right now. Thank you. Who was it? The happy
One
hen
happy hen.
with the Pisces symbol.
Yeah.
Very good. And it looked like the other thing that you couldn't read out said something like, now that I know that it's Pisces, you could see it now, but all right, so let's get organized here too. What don't we need?
That's what I'm trying to do too.
We don't need this. We don't need all the stuff to having to
Jacob
do.
heard you say this is easier. Well, we also know what we're doing. I feel like
I think
before we were like taking too much time. Like
I also think we couldn't see the pictures.
Yes.
We didn't have a magnifying glass, and we
I know what I have to do. Hang on.
We did not know.
And we said having everything, like, so we can actually look at it in person.
Is
made it
yes.
Yeah.
Guys, we are
So I'm
ripping
just gonna
it.
do this.
We are ripping it.
Ready?
Ripping it.
Hang on. I'm gonna. So someone heard me whisper something to my wife.
You,
So now
you all did have the magnifying
now I'm
glass.
gonna do this because nobody can hear you when you do this. Right?
Classic.
We do like a mound visit, like no one can hear me.
What's the
Right.
problem? Which one do you guys want to go to first?
Let's see. You want to talk to the Smithers investigators here?
Yeah, the white sheet or the yellow sheet?
The white.
All right, let's go to the white. This is what we got. Boom, boom. All right, Smithers Investigations and Associates, Inc., April 28th, 2001.
I'm
Dear
very.
Mr.
Oh yeah, you gonna read it? You go read. You read.
Do you want me to read it? You can read it.
You go ahead. Yeah.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Simpson, I'm very sorry we need to put the investigation on hold due to financial concerns because I am so close to finding Emma Lynn. Hopefully, when things turn around at the Cranberry Farm, we can get back to work and bring her home.
Fucking Cranberry Farms in Wisconsin.
That
doesn't
Here
make
are the
any sense. That doesn't
results
check out.
of my investigation so far. As you stated, Emma Lynn had dreams of becoming a model and became obsessed with Paula May. As she'd been told so many times she looked like her.
Uh-huh.
She begged you to let her pursue a career in modeling in LA or New York, but you refused. On the morning of her birthday, you found her bed hadn't been slept in and her suitcase was gone. You called the police, but of course, there were no help, so you did the smart thing and called me. It's a classic case of naive Midwestern girl running away from the farm to pursue fame and fortune. I wish I had a nickel for every time I saw this one. After making well over 100 phone calls, I was eventually able to track Emmeline's whereabouts to LA. My source told me she's working for a rather shady character going by the name of Ari Cruz. Apparently, she was working as a cocktail waitress at a nightclub Cruz runs called Club Pyro. I assume she's using a fake ID since she's underage. I called Club Pyro and explained I was looking for, quote, Paula May with a tooth gap, and the manager knew her. She responded, of course, that's a sweet little girl from Wisconsin. We haven't seen her in about a week. Last I heard, she was doing Ari a favor, but no one's seen her since. Another source who lives in LA told me Ari Cruz has a hand in several pies, some of them rumored to be highly unsavory pies. What's your favorite kind of pie, Rye?
Don't do this to me right now.
But I couldn't find any criminal records, and my public record searches came up empty. In addition to Club Pyro, Ari Cruz apparently has ties to a questionable modeling agency called LA Girls and a storage facility near the airport.
Storage facility?
sounds like human
Correct.
trafficking.
I was also told that it's highly likely Cruz is involved in an illegal gambling ring
Ooh.
and drug trafficking. I'm sorry, but I can only do so much over the phone. If you can find the funds to get me out to LA to meet this Ari Cruz character face to face, I'll bring Emma Lynn home where she belongs. I'm so close. All my best, Donald J. Smithers.
Smithers.
Ugh.
All right.
Gang?
Poor Emmeline, gap tooth Emmeline.
So, who had the gambling problem again?
That was Knox, right?
Was it Knox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Because he was the one, right? He was the one he grabbed the reporter on the wrist.
All right. So
Yeah.
something to think about here, right? Should we just do the
Yeah.
other thing, or what do you guys have in response to that?
Let's do the other thing, and then let's go through the witness statements because I think that's going to be important.
The witness statements
Or the interrogations?
Or the interrogation.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. Here's the other thing that we just got. Boom. Who wants to read this one? This is, by the way, from Darla Jean Simpson.
The mother, I believe.
Yeah.
Can you
Go
be
ahead.
the distraught mother?
You want? Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Hello there. For so many years, I've dreamed my daughter would walk through our front door. I'd throw my arms around her and never let go. And now I've been forced to accept it's a fantasy that will never come true. I have to let my sunshine go. That's what I called her, my sunshine. She was the light of my life, a light that has now gone eternally dark due to the findings of your investigation. It's almost too much to bear. I want to tell you a little bit about her. Emma Lynn loved photography. She was so kind, she'd do free photo shoots for all of the town folk who couldn't afford to bring their kids to a portrait studio. She had dreams of becoming a professional photographer, but the more people told her she looked like Paula May, the more she thought she belonged on the other side of the lens. Emma Lynn became obsessed with the idea of modeling. She put just as much passion into that as she did her photography. She got some local work, but was desperate to go to New York or Los Angeles to pursue it, while her dad and I were adamant that she stay away from places like that. There are many reminders of Emma Lynn around town. So many years have gone by, but I still need to pull over sometimes after passing the Dairy Queen she loved. March is especially difficult. Each year marks another year without her. Another reminder of that awful morning just before her birthday when she disappeared. I turn on the TV to distract myself, and there's Paula May hosting Saturday Night Live again. She's aged so gracefully, it's hard not to imagine that's what my Emma Lynn would look like if she were around today. I see Emma Lynn everywhere. My daughter had a very trusting nature, and that made her naive to the ways of the world. I blame myself because I sheltered her for so long. I just didn't want anything to happen to my baby, but it completely backfired. You have no idea how that rips my heart out, especially now that I know she is gone forever. I can't tell you how hard it is for me to even write those words. Knowing that Emma Lynn is no longer missing, has brought a certain sense of relief, but it's opened up a whole new range of emotions that are even harder to live with. I'm not sure which is worse, when I didn't know where she was, or not knowing what happened. Who did this to Emma Lynn? I can't bear not knowing. We were so close to finding her, but things got hard at the farm without her help, and we ran out of funds for the private detective trying to find her. Encloses a final letter we received from him. I thought it might help you. I beg you, please don't give up trying to find out what happened to our baby. All right. Well, I don't think that really helped. But
no, this is just the introduction letter to the other
letter.
No, we read those in the wrong order. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, but we know that when she was in LA that she was working, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and we also know she loves Paula May.
Yes,
right.
She's obsessed with Paula May.
This one, I got it.
Yeah, I was like, that's not.
Yeah.
This is Smithers.
All right, should we get to the Paula May person of interest?
Let's look at Paula May. Let's take a hard look at Paula May.
All right, so by the way, once again, to refresh everybody's memory, here's what Paula May looks like.
Yeah.
For the podcast listeners, I would say it's just a white woman with
pouty, like full pouty lips and
full pouty
a
lips.
round face.
Round face. Her hair's pulled back, like a dirty blonde pulled back. And the photo that we have, she's got like soot, like most of them have, because they all kind of either were near the fire or went into the fire or whatever. So that is Paula May. Here is your person of interest.
And again, it looks like she got in a little bit of a scrap.
Yep, I agree.
She's got some things on her nose here.
Paula June Marie May.
Yep, Paula June Marie May. Got her phone number here. Born in 1971. Divorced.
6
feet tall.
Wow.
Same as
Emma Lynn.
Wow.
She works for. Yep. Sorry.
No, I was going to say she has 3 cars.
Must be nice.
A Land Rover, a Lamborghini Diablo GT. Very hard car to find. And a Hummer.
Wow.
Let's see.
She was a model for 12 years. No martial arts combat experience, no military experience, does not own a firearm, is not currently under investigation, no outstanding warrants, no prior arrests. Employer Paula May Cosmetics. We saw the photo of her in that one newspaper clipping as well. Somebody want to read the in the space below, describe your whereabouts on the date and time of the incident.
Sorry, I got it. I was exhausted and fell asleep as soon as I returned to my cabin after the bonfire until I was woken up by people screaming fire. I thought maybe the bonfire restarted, but then I looked and saw one of the cabins in full blaze. We were all worried Christopher was inside, but Rob, Jack, and Ava were no help whatsoever, so I took matters in my own hands and busted through the door to try to save him. I couldn't find him, but luckily I was able to get back out safely, and Christopher showed up right then. He wound up pushing us into a somewhat disorganized group session that lasted the entire night after that. What? We had no idea about the dead body until the morning. I honestly don't even know what to think about that because Ari swore to me on his mother's life that the island was 100% clear of any outsiders.
So wait,
Individuals can confirm your whereabouts. None. I was asleep by myself.
So wait, Christopher inside. So after that, he pushed them into a disorganized group session.
Yeah. So they spent all night in a therapy session
away from the house
after what happened. Right. Once they were all accounted for, they did that. But she's saying that she was asleep and they were worried because it was obviously we already know this, but it was Christopher's cabin. She says she busted through the door to try to save him. So he wasn't in his own cabin, and she claims maybe she did actually bust in, or was she already in there setting the fire, perhaps?
And
she busted in. She busted through the door. They were all standing outside, I think, and they thought he was inside because they'd all
there
gone
were people
to bed.
standing around. Yeah.
All right, so should we get to her interrogation?
Yes.
There's also this medical referral letter that talks about her condition, about food addiction. Should we talk about that first?
Do you want to do that first or the interrogation?
Condition policy. It's insomnia. Her condition, therefore, is complex. Food addiction, body dysmorphia, borderline agoraphobia, anger issues, and insomnia. It is my opinion that she will need intensive therapy in all areas, and I believe your unique methods may work on her. So, she said she was sleeping. Here says she doesn't sleep.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and it says that she's suffering from borderline agoraphobia, where she goes weeks sometimes without leaving her house out of fear that she'll be seen, photographed, or made fun of. She's been prone to fits of rage since the weight gain and can become quite volatile.
But I think that she said she was sleeping, and here's the medical thing that says she doesn't sleep.
Okay, interesting.
Got it. Good one. All right, so I'm sure her interrogation will be interesting then. All right. Who wants to play the detective? Who wants to play Paula May?
Nicole, you want to be Paula May?
Sure. I'll be Paula May.
All right.
Are you going to be the detective?
Or do you want to? Yeah.
I'll be the detective.
You be the detective.
Yeah. All right. I'll for this one. Please state your full name for the record.
Paula June Marie May.
Can you also please state your reason for being at rehab?
I've gained 40 pounds in the past 4 months and can no longer even fit my big toe into my skinny jeans. Does that answer your question?
So you're addicted to eating?
Bingo. Got any cheese doodles?
Look, I've been there too. I know it's tough. After my son was born, my first husband left me and I turned to food. Heck, I practically married it. But for what it's worth, I think you look great. Seriously. Anyone who doesn't is warped in the head.
Thanks, I guess.
You're a very sought-after model. Was the food addiction why you stopped?
No, I didn't start eating everything in sight until the job stopped coming. They told me I was getting old, as if turning 30 meant I should wear house coats, watch Jeopardy, and become the crazy cat lady.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. That's a good night to me.
Oh, you're funny.
Once the looks go, you gotta come up with a new gig. I'm thinking stand up.
Sometimes people use humor to conceal their true emotions. I'm sure losing your career like that made you pretty bitter and angry.
It crushed me, which was easy back then since I was all skin and bones.
Are you married?
But once I started putting on the weight, he left me for someone the size of a walking stick.
I hear you also withdrew from the public eye.
The paparazzi made it their goal in life to photograph the super fat former supermodel. So I basically became a prisoner in my own house.
That must have been awful.
Yep, but I'm determined to stop doing this to myself and lose the weight so I can prove to the world I'm not too old to model. I also want my ex-husband to see me svelte again because I know he'd come running back and dump the stick figure. But I don't want him back. I just want to see him grovel, then tell him to drop dead.
I hear there was an altercation with someone delivering food to your house. It was all over the press.
I hired people to bring me groceries, do fast food runs for me, raid the bakery before closing time, that kind of thing, so I didn't have to go out and be seen. I had discreet, dependable people until the paparazzi infiltrated them. Suddenly, there was a camera-toting witch in my house.
What happened?
Oh, wait.
I smacked her across the face with her camera. Look, she came into my house under false pretenses and tried to strip me of my privacy. She deserved what she got.
You broke her nose? You don't seem to be very remorseful about that.
She had it coming. It was an ugly, bulbous nose anyway. It's not like it was going to ruin her modeling career or anything.
And there was another camera incident yesterday afternoon?
That waitress had no right to take my picture. I told her to give me the film.
You threw a glass at her and threatened to cram a camera down her throat.
I have a right to my privacy.
I hear the paparazzi got word you were coming out here.
Why can't they just leave me alone? They're like cockroaches.
What would you do if one of them made it out here with a camera?
Whatever needed to be done.
Really? Like drag them under a cabin, cover them in gasoline, and light them on fire? They'd have it coming, right? They're just cockroaches?
What? No. Look, I talk a big story, and yes, I whacked that reporter in the face with her camera, but I'd never murder someone. I tried to save someone last night.
How so?
When we saw the counselor's cabin up in flames, we thought he was still inside. Rob tried to break the door in, but he wasn't strong enough. I looked at Jack, and he was like, "Don't look at me." And Ava said, "Don't look at me either." So much for Ava, the superhero. So I did what needed to be done. Ava tried to stop me, said I was nuts. Well, maybe I am nuts because I got a running start and I busted right through. Maybe I found my calling and I should rethink the whole diet thing. Anyway, he wasn't in there, and I barely got out moments before the roof collapsed.
Wow, that was either an unbelievably selfless act or a great attempt at deflecting guilt. Paula, where were you last night between 10:30 p.m. and 1 o'clock a.m.?
I can't believe you. I went back to my cabin after the bonfire and fell asleep. Slept like a baby till I heard someone screaming fire.
I understand you are an insomniac. Did you take any sleeping pills last night?
No, I was just exhausted from being out of the house all day.
I see. Well, that'll be it for now. We'll talk again soon. And scene.
Don't buy that shit.
So, was Emma Lynn the one that had the busted nose?
No, but she was a fan of photography. She would have had a camera on her.
No, the other girl had a busted nose from volleyball years.
Okay, so
years
she was
prior.
not the one that had the broken nose. Okay.
No. What what was I gonna say? What was she doing with what was the girl doing with Ari Cruz?
So Ari wasn't there. Christopher.
No.
Ari
No.
Cruz-
I mean, what was she involved in when she was waitressing?
Who?
Where's that thing?
Emma Lynn?
Emma Lynn,
Yeah.
when she had the name, the fake name.
Fake name. That was.
Oh, that was in this new one, right?
Yeah, from Smithers.
Yeah.
From Smithers. Yeah, from Smithers.
Smithers.
Let me pull that
Where
up.
did Smithers.
Oh, your organization.
It's right here.
doesn't seem to be working.
I gave it to you. I gave the Smithers one to you,
You took everything back from me.
and I will continue to take everything.
Well, then you can't.
Okay, I got it. It's no. Ari was just had ties to a questionable modeling agency called LA Girls in a storage facility near the airport. It was highly likely that Cruz is involved in illegal gambling ring and drug trafficking. Anyway,
All right.
so
Anything from Paula there?
The fact she's lying about being asleep. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I agree. And clearly, we don't know if she knows Emma Lynn, but Emma Lynn worshipped her. So
yes,
And would have had a camera, which might have set her off.
and she does say, which is right. It's a little over the top, but she was like she would do whatever she wanted to a person like paparazzi.
Mhm.
So
So do we go to Chris King now?
yeah, let's go to Chris King
Because that was his cabin, and
Right.
he wasn't there.
Here's Chris King. He is the head of this place, the top counselor at Del Fuego.
No, you
I put it in that,
Paula.
yeah.
And he's the one that looks the most shady, at least early on. Now, Paula obviously has sort of stepped into the forefront here. Here's his person of interest sheet, which says he's 5'11", 160.
He's the one. He's the crybaby too, right?
yeah, he's a
32,
crybaby.
white guy, brown hair, brown eyes, shoe size 10. He has a survivor tattoo on his left shoulder blade.
I'm sorry.
Well, he's a
Oh, yeah, yeah.
survivor of addiction.
Yep. He's lefty. Shout out lefties. He does have a prior arrest for domestic abuse charges, which were dropped. Del Fuego Rehab Center. He was also on the Sally Jesse Donahue show, as they already said. 5 years at the rehab facility, 10 months at the Sally Jesse Donahue show. He has 1 car. It's a GMC Yukon, black with the license plate. Sober 1. A little much. In the space below, describe your whereabouts on the date and time of the incident. Christopher King says, last night I decided not to go back to my cabin and instead went over to the main house to go over the new patient's files. I really like to know as much as I can about them before we get into my intense sessions. I was there until I heard a commotion on the other side of the island. I hurried back to find my cabin engulfed in flames. Paula even risked her life to try and save me. After the fire went out, everyone was way too amped to sleep, so I figured it was the perfect opportunity to gather together for an intense all-night group session back at the main house. I think we made some incredible progress. Before we knew it, Ari and the fire department arrived. I don't know what to say about the dead body, but I had absolutely nothing to do with it. This whole thing is a lot to process. Watching the cabin burn to the ground along with my entire collection of rhyming motivational one-liners was really distressing. I was in talks with a publisher, and I'll have to start over. Not sure I even have the heart to start. And then he left blank where it says individuals who can confirm your whereabouts at the date and time is blank. All right. So let's get to his interrogation. Christopher King. We'll have the Davies.
Oh,
we'll have the Davies go here.
All right.
You be King.
Okay.
Please state your full name for the record.
Christopher Aiden King.
And you're the addiction counselor here, right? For how long?
Yes, that's right. I've been the counselor here for 5 years.
Are you famous? Feels like I've seen you before. Are you an actor too?
Not an actor, but I am famous. I'm a regular on the Sally Jesse Donahue show.
Yeah, that's where they are always throwing chairs, right? You're also a former addict.
Yes to being a former addict, it helps me, relate to the patients.
That must be a great asset. I suppose otherwise it'd be like the blind leading the blind. If the counselor didn't practice what he preached.
Right.
If a drug counselor got caught using, he'd lose his license, right?
Right again.
Makes sense. How long have you been clean?
Going on 9 years now.
Good for you. I understand a few days ago a staff member reported seeing you take drugs from the holding cabinet where stuff sometimes smuggled by the patients is stored.
Yes, that was her story. One of our housekeepers, Maria. Never trusted her. I actually caught her rifling through the cabinet, and she fabricated the story about me taking the drugs instead of her. They didn't take her accusation seriously, and they checked her purse and found a bunch of Percocets. Accusing me was a sad attempt at saving herself.
Any idea where she is now?
She was fired.
And apparently also missing. No one's seen her in days.
Maybe she's strung out somewhere. Who knows?
Jeez.
So I heard Scout hates you.
What on earth does that have to do with anything? It's not me. That dog's a menace. Bit me on 3 separate occasions right in the butt. Each
Right in the butt.
Right in the butt.
I love it.
Each time all Ari did was laugh and tell Scout he was a good boy.
Christopher, where were you last night between 10:30 and 1 a.m.? People thought you were still in your cabin. Paula May even busted down the door to save you.
Oh, yes, that was really big of her, and I thanked her profusely. I was up at the main building going over the new patient's files one more time.
Oh, that's so very dedicated of you. It's odd, though, because when you finally showed up, you were seen coming from the other direction.
Okay, so I lied about that. I wasn't studying patient files. It was a very quick flip, right? A quick 180 for him.
Right.
I was over on the other side of the island.
Doing what?
Relaxing. I was writing some poetry, if you must know. There's a cave over there that is quite peaceful. You can imagine the pressures of this job. You can't imagine the pressure of this job.
Are they enough to start using again?
No, of course not.
Then why did we find a bag of marijuana and pills right next to the poem that appears to be written by you? Recognize this? Are you the Fire King, Christopher?
Oh, yes, that was my jazz cabbage. No, sorry. It's my work, yes, but the drugs aren't mine. I found them on the grounds and had to make sure they didn't fall into the wrong hands. That's part of my job, you know.
This is like what I told my parents in high school.
Yeah.
I'm going to have you take a drug test. It's just a formality so we can confirm your story.
That's absurd. I'm an addiction counselor, a famous addiction counselor.
Look, you either take it willingly or a judge will make you take it.
What? Look, there's absolutely no reason to do that.
Look, You could just tell me the truth here.
Okay. I want to call it something else. I occasionally
smoked a
dabble
few weeds
in the electric lettuce. No big deal. It helps me relax. And the pills were a recent back injury. I aggravated at the doc.
The pills were not prescribed to you, sir.
What's with all these questions? I'm an addiction therapist. I'm on TV. What do you want from me?
The truth. As in, what were you really doing last night?
I was at the cave, and I stayed there until I heard the commotion.
How did your cabin burn down?
Because it was on fire?
Don't get cute with me. I heard you're a genius at starting bonfires on damp nights.
So
I think you started the fire. You're the fire king.
That's nuts. The lighter and gas were at the fire pit for anyone to grab.
Were you in love with Maria?
That's preposterous. No.
Was she blackmailing you?
No. For what? She was on pills. You can't trust her. As an addiction expert, I can tell you.
Let me stop you right there, Mr. King. It's you I don't trust. You clearly just admitted to using and lying about it. So I'm not really interested in your professional assessment.
Well, I just think.
Want to know what I think, Mr. King? I think you burned down your cabin with her underneath, and I'm going to figure out why.
You're crazy. There's nothing to figure out here.
Why are you British now?
That's it.
He's been all over the map.
That is preposterous, Alexis. Sorry.
Why did you persuade Ari not to call the authorities until morning?
What? That was his idea. The fire was out. Everyone was safe.
Not the girl under the cabin. She wasn't safe, Chris. And if it turns out to be Maria, you're going to have a lot more to worry about than just losing your counselor's license.
Well, it wasn't Maria. We know that.
Maria.
It wasn't.
So they fall on the wrong thing there. It wasn't Maria. But
this is why it ended up being a cold case, because they did this interrogation back in 2001 and they weren't able to get anything. So this is a poem by.
I want someone to do a dramatic reading of the fire case.
I can't, so somebody else has got to do it.
You need to be the. I mean, I could do it.
Let's all take a different part.
We'll take a stanza.
I love it.
Oop.
I love it.
Here we go. So there's 5 different stanzas. So I Am the Fire King, a poem by C.A. King.
Wait, which direction does it go, though? Does it go?
I don't think it matters. I think this is a choice that you make.
No, so I think it has to go this one, like left, right, bottom is last.
I can go left, right.
Okay. So I'll do the first one because I don't know what order we're going in, and I can't do as dramatic as everybody else. I just don't have that in me. A burning ember from the past gave me warmth, but left too fast. I long to feel that heat again. In those flames, eternity spends.
That is what this soul desires, to roast in such delightful fires. Once more, for always until the end, to be in love and not pretend.
The charred remains of hearts gone cold conceals my longing for things untold. But when I met you, sparks ignited, so many wrongs in life were righted.
You fueled my fire, sent it blazing, for you to me were just amazing. But swiftly things went up in smoke when I caught you with that other bloke.
Get it, Bane?
It had to end with scorching flares. For consequence, I have no cares. You're dead to me, true love smothered. You are, in fact, just like my mother.
Oh, we got a little Norman Bates action going on here, huh?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Oh, Matthew has a good thing. Can we match the handwriting? Yes, let's just from the
handwriting. Oh, on the map.
From the map. Yeah, that's a good.
Oh, I didn't put the map in, but this one up here.
Looks pretty.
It looks
looks pretty. It looks it looks similar.
I think it looks different.
Look at the Y's. Look at the E.
No, the A's are completely different though. Different formation.
Yeah, like look at
the G's aren't closed.
Where's a G? Let me see if I find a G on this one.
Dangerous.
Oh, burning.
Cold.
Yeah, dangerous and burnt are different. Yeah, true. I don't think it's him. As shitty as this guy is.
Yeah, but the thing is somebody would have to know enough about the danger zone around the island.
The H's are different. Just looking at that too.
Well, don't you think? I wonder if anybody that's been to the island would be able to tell the person,
Or had been there several times.
right? Or like it just if they've been on the boat, they sort of know the way in, and maybe the person, like maybe Ari's been like, "Hey, this is why we go this way," and they would know.
And do we think Ari Cruz is Ari Eurowitz?
I don't, only because Ari Urowitz, again, for the sake of the game that we're playing, he is just a witness. He is not a suspect.
Right, but he could be in cahoots with somebody.
He could. So, all right, who do we want to? So we've
Okay.
we've read the person of interest and the interrogation from Paula and Christopher. So we have 3 others.
So do you want Danner or Knox or
Let's go to
Lawrence?
Knox because somebody wants somebody. They're very.
Let's check out
interested in-
Rob Knox. All right.
All right, so
Knox.
here's Rob Knox once again. He's the one that looks like a shitty Hemsworth. Let's go to the person of
Not-
interest.
Not that shitty of a Hemsworth.
Ooh, oh,
Nicole's taking a liking.
He's
to
from
this.
New London, Connecticut.
Oh,
He's a
look at
boat
the-
guy.
he is
Like, I was trying
5'10".
to say he's like ugly, and I'm like, I mean,
I just
whatever.
listen. Hemsworth are handsome. So he is 5'10", 172. He's 44 years old. White guy, shoe size 9, brown hair, brown eyes. He has no tattoos. He's a righty, so that may come into play at some point. Prior military experience, yes. Martial arts experience, yes. Do you own firearms? Yes. Prior arrests, yes. No outstanding warrants, no, not currently under investigation. He was arrested for petty theft and what's the other thing say?
he was in the Navy. Please explain.
Oh,
any
he was
yes-
in the Navy. Yeah.
He was
So he's
in
in the
the
Navy
Navy.
and he was arrested for petty theft. He is the Safety Net Incorporated. That's who he's the CEO for
He's
that.
The gambler.
He has a Hummer, an H1, and a Ford Mustang.
He has an H1, like the Schwarzenegger Hummer. Like
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
Jesus.
That's what it says. All right. Somebody want to read the your whereabouts on the date and time of the incident?
I got it. I was in my cabin but couldn't sleep. The impending bankruptcy keeps me up. But I fucking cursive again. But I started thinking about what a good Boy Scout. What?
Oh, what a good Boy Scout was, the dog.
Oh, what a good Boy Scout was, and it led me like a boy.
Yeah.
And the epiphany around 11 for a revolutionary new invention that will make all my financial problems disappear. I was wrapping up my notes when I heard a woman scream "fire" and ran out to see Mr. King, Mr. King's cabin on fire. We figured he was there, and while I was determining the best way to save him, Paula exploded through the front door, but he wasn't there. Moments later, he shows up, out of breath, saying he was at the main house. We know that's not true, but he came from the other direction. So I asked him about that, and the next thing I know, we're having an emergency therapy session that lasted all night. It was mostly just him insulting us.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised when I found out there was more to the story. You should find out where King was. Too bad there's no hidden security cameras anywhere around here.
So, quick thing that I just noticed is, according to Knox, he said he heard a woman scream fire. Paula May said people yelled fire. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they could both be telling the truth. But if he heard a woman scream, there's only 2 women on the island, and
Right.
Paula didn't hear it. So we're gonna want to hear what Ava said.
Okay, so we'll go to her after this.
Yeah, but let's.
Okay.
So
We got to
should
go
probably
through his
Yeah.
thing first.
fall through the interrogation here. But right, anything else? Anybody notice anything else from there?
Someone in the chat was saying that he was in the Navy, and a lot of the notes were kind of nautical. There was a compass. Yeah.
Oh,
Navy
good
means
point.
boat. Could man
Yeah.
a boat. Like he could read a map and see there were dangerous rocks, even if he hadn't been there before.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
He would.
I agree.
He would, yeah.
Is he married? Or
That's
he's
a good
divorced?
point. Is he married? Let's
is
see.
He's
Divorced.
Divorced. All right, so let's go to Rob Knox interrogation. Who wants to do this one? Nicole, you be the detective. I'll be Rob Knox.
Okay. Good afternoon, sir. Can you please state your full name for the record?
Rob Francis Knox.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm the president and CEO of Safety Net. We're revolutionizing the security industry by linking security cameras into the World Wide Web.
Security cameras on the World Wide Web. Huh.
That's right. Top of the line cameras with fire and carbon monoxide detectors, and we link them to the internet so customers can see what's happening in their homes or businesses just by logging into their website.
Weird.
Interesting. Why are you in rehab?
I'm working on a slight problem I have with gambling.
Slight problem, huh? How's it affected your life?
I hit rock bottom 6 years ago, but I was determined to turn things around, so I worked obsessively to do so. Now, the business I build is one of the fastest growing companies in the nation, yet my gambling also has us nearly in bankruptcy.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
You and me both. I'm doing everything to keep it a secret because I've worked so hard to rebuild my reputation. If the public finds out, my good name will be ruined.
Your name, Rob Knox, you changed it about 60 years ago. Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
And all of this obsession with rebuilding your reputation and keeping your good name wouldn't have anything to do with what happened back in Georgia, would it?
It has everything to do with it.
I spoke with a Detective Gaynor back there about you this morning. I hear you were the head of a campus security at Tubman University for years and that you went through a messy divorce. That right?
Messy? That's an understatement. My wife left me for some low-life lawyer, and they took me for everything I had.
Wow, that stinks.
I was broke, desperate.
Wow.
That stinks.
It does stink. Thank you. I was broke, desperate, and I started playing poker with people I shouldn't have. Thought I could make some quick money, but it backfired.
Is that when you quit your job and moved into an old storage shack on campus?
Yes. I thought it'd give me time to make a plan as long as nobody found me there.
But somebody did find you there, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Max Cahill.
And shortly after, Max turned up dead. You were a prime suspect.
Unfortunately, yes. But that was a crazy mix-up. He was a great guy who was trying to help me. I had nothing but respect for Max.
I understand there wasn't enough evidence to convict, so they closed the case.
Yes, that's true.
I'm detecting a pattern. 6 years ago, you get mixed up with gambling and someone dies. And now, history seems to be repeating itself.
Look, I screwed up my life with gambling, not once, but twice. And that was incredibly stupid. But I've never killed anyone.
You really hate the press, don't you?
What? Where's that coming from?
I heard a reporter questioned you at the marina, and you threatened her.
I didn't threaten her.
I heard you grabbed her by the wrist. Really scared her. A lot of people saw.
Okay, I was furious the press had gotten wind of this. They have the power to ruin me, and I wasn't going down that road again.
You know what I think? I think a reporter followed you out to the island. You worked so hard to leave your past buried, and they dug it up and shoved it in your face. And to make sure your past stayed underground, you put her under the cabin and set it on fire.
Absolutely not. I didn't kill anyone. I'm 100% innocent. Again.
Where were you last night after the bonfire between 10:30 and 1 a.m.?
You mean before I heard Ava shout fire and ran out to see the counselor's cabin in flames and then watched Paula May bust through a reinforced cabin door like it was a B-movie prop? I was in my cabin inventing something revolutionary that's going to save my business. Got the idea from Scout. I'll give you my notes to prove it if you want. Make a copy or something, though, because I need them back.
Yes, I would like to see those notes.
Gladly. You should really talk to that counselor, King. He said he was here in the main house the whole time, but he ran up from us from the other direction. I asked him about it, and the next thing you know, we're in an all-night therapy session. Something about breaking us down to build us up later, but 7 hours is a bit long of a breakdown. Anyways, I'm 100% sure he's lying about something.
Thanks, Rob. You can leave the investigations to us, okay? We'll be in touch.
Now you have his notes, which are fascinating here. The fake dog security cam, which, if you look at the timestamp, so he started this at 10:57 p.m.
Yep.
On the date of the thing. So that's true. If this
right.
Yeah.
And so it's fake dog security, and it's just a sketch of him, and it's like a dog, and there's just all these arrows and notes, and it says in-ear microphones, hidden camera, speaker plays barking noises, pause provides stable bass, a power cord for a tail, fake fur you can really pet, rear view, potential names, doggy detector, and then there pooch patrol, robo pup, canine cam, that's crossed out,
the Dogginator,
that's also crossed out,
yeah,
biting version, Possible features and benefits. Secret compartment to hide a key.
What?
What?
Idle panting noise. Infrared night vision. Fits in small places like bathrooms. Adjustable neck for towers.
And the other one, it says threat detection, and it has a tall, seemingly blonde woman. Which that's something.
But
And
it
then-
also seems that he has a budget tab, a marketing tab.
Yeah, I was looking at that, and there's a warehouse. Now, wasn't there a modeling agency in a warehouse? Isn't that one of the?
Yeah,
Yes.
Ari Cruz.
Ari Cruz was. And he also has one of those anagrams. Bark. Be alert and ready for killers.
Does it list an alias in his thing?
Yeah, I
No.
was like, what's his name? What was his old name?
I can't
It
find his
it
old
doesn't
name.
say it. It doesn't say it anywhere.
It doesn't? No.
No.
But he almost killed Max Cahill. That's the one name I do remember.
Yeah.
So that's
Um,
Rob Knox. He's a
So if we've
shady-
heard a woman scream, then it would make sense to go to Ava, then, right?
Yeah, because
Wait, because
he
he says it's Ava. At
he
the end.
specifically said Ava screamed. It was Paula who said she heard people scream. So let's go to Ava next. Here's Ava.
I just
person-
think that this is kind of detailed. Like he might actually have an alibi.
Yeah, that looked like he spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
He worked real hard on those dog
Yeah.
pictures.
Here's Ava Barbara Lawrence from Hollywood. She's 5'5", 122 pounds, 27 years old, wears a size 7 shoe, brown eyes, blonde hair, Caucasian, lefty. Shout out lefties again. No tattoos, no military experience, no martial arts combat, no firearms. Yes on the prior arrest, possession of cocaine, and a DUI. No outstanding warrants or investigation. She has 2 cars. She has a Mercedes M-Class and a Spider Maserati. Okay.
Ooh.
All right. Who wants to read the whereabouts at the time? This will be important.
I'll read it. After our campfire was over, I decided to go over the script changes in my latest film. I was rehearsing a scene when I noticed a red ember float past the window. I stepped onto the porch and saw the counselor's cabin on fire. I started screaming because I thought he was inside, and within a few moments, the rest of the patients were out there yelling as well. We didn't know it was empty until after Paula busted the door off the hinges and nearly died trying to rescue that guy. Then Counselor King appears out of nowhere and says he was reviewing our files in the main house. But he came from another direction, and Rob asked him about that, but he changed the subject right away. Said we must take advantage of this opportunity for an emergency group intervention and dragged us up to the main house for some ridiculous all-night session. It was very weird. He seemed kind of angry and yelled a lot. Something's not right about that guy. He was real feely with me in the marina, too. We were all in our cabins because that's what Counselor King told us to do after the campfire was over. That's where she says she was.
So that is interesting about King. Like he basically told them, hey, everybody go to your own cabins.
Yeah.
And then he lied like 4 times and admitted to lying and was like, oh yeah, I was here. No, I was really over there and everything
I
else.
was doing drugs.
And the
Right,
fact that it
Mom.
was his cabin, but I still don't know why he would kill unless he
yeah.
just met Emma Lynn Simpson through that whole thing and he used the art. You know what? He's the guy that came up with the term Ari Safari, and
Yeah.
maybe he would use the Ari Cruise thing.
Well, we're getting to
Maybe.
that. We're getting to that.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing too, didn't he say that he left them down there with the gas and the lighter?
Yes.
But that's not true because what she's saying
She's
is
saying.
now this is a person who we know now too has a very good memory and remembers things like
Mhm.
very fine details. And she's saying that he told us to go to our cabins when the campfire was over. So he didn't leave and leave them down there. He was with them the whole time.
Nice.
Right. Okay.
There we go.
Oh, by the way, there was 2 pictures we never even used. Just real quick. Here is the. I don't know if it's going to help right now, but just so you know that we have them. It is the lighter and the gas can, but they're burnt.
And who does the lighter belong to?
The
Chris
lighter
King.
is 100% King's. The gas can is like the places, like the
Yeah, it
Del
looks like
Fuego.
it could be like on a boat or something.
And there's
But-
also this one. Talk about not safe for work. Goo. Here is
Yeah.
the picture of Jane Doe burnt to a crisp.
That was
Well, she has a name now.
Pretty gory for this game.
Sorry, Ryan. You're right. Jane Doe is Emma Lynn Simpson. So let's get to, where were we? Let's get to the interrogation, and we'll have the Davies perform.
Okay.
Ava Lawrence with the detective.
Please state your name for the record.
Ava Barbara Lawrence.
Ava B. Lawrence, can you please tell me why you checked into the Del Fuego Rehab Center?
Don't most of the rich and famous people in show business check into quaint little rehab centers at some point? It's practically in vogue these days. But you asked me why I'm here, so I'll tell you my little secret. I'm a coke addict. But I'm determined to beat this. Drugs are so bad. And if Ava B. Lawrence can get hooked, it can happen to anyone.
If you're serious about beating this, I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, but luck won't be necessary. I may flinch at the thought of breaking a nail, but I'm as tough as nails when I'm determined to succeed.
I think I heard you say that in a movie promo once. Good line. I see you were arrested for DUI, possession of cocaine, leaving the scene of an accident, and evading the police. Rumor has it the studio told you to check into rehab or you were fired.
It really isn't the way it looks. They adore me. They're just looking out for my best interests.
I understand your lawyers have managed to keep you out of jail and out of the press.
Yeah, that's correct, but it wasn't cheap.
Pretty lucky if you ask me.
Well, no one ever said Ava B. Lawrence being Ava B. Lawrence doesn't have its perks.
You must have flinched quite a bit lately.
I'm sorry?
Your nails. They're short and jagged. You said you flinched at the thought of breaking one.
Oh, that. I'm playing a superhero named Blaze. She can put out fires with her fingertips. I'm doing all my own stunts, and let me tell you, it's absolute hell on my nails.
Sounds like you have a new line for your next promo tour. When's the movie coming out?
Next summer.
Let's hope you aren't sitting in jail for murder during the release.
What in the world are you even talking about?
You're not quite the actress in real life as you are on screen, Ms. Lawrence. It's quite clear that you're only here playing the part of an actress who wants to get clean. You're just trying to get back into your cocaine snorting superhero life.
Look, whether that's true or not, and it certainly isn't, what does that even have to do with like murder?
Who was under the cabin, Ava? Did somebody find out you were a snitch and come to get you?
What are you even talking about? What's a snitch?
I saw you in Busted, so I know you're fully aware of what a snitch is. I understand you wore a wire during a drug deal to avoid prison time. Who else knew?
What? No one. How did you know that? I didn't even wear the wire, and yet there were only supposed to be a few people who knew about that. And now you, I guess. Well, it shouldn't be hard for you to confirm with them. We didn't even do it yet.
Feels like you're hiding something from me, Ava. Did someone come out here to pay you a visit? Drop off a little nose candy, perhaps?
You're legit insane. Maybe you ought to focus your attention on that Psycho X supermodel Paula. She's been acting like a real whack job ever since we were at the marina. Barely spoke to anyone on the Captain hooked. Glared at everyone, especially me. And spent most of her time in her cabin. She even went nuts on some poor waitress. Then last night, she tried her very best to act like a hero instead of the murderous monster she really is. Paula May supermodel turned superhero? Give me a break.
I heard you tried to stop her from going into the cabin to rescue Christopher.
Well, that's just stupid on her part. You had two guys standing right there, and just because one was a pretty boy and the other was too scared to try and get the door open, doesn't mean she should risk life and limb. I certainly wasn't going to. But then she got in a 3-point stance and rammed into that door so hard it blew off the hinges. Turned out he wasn't even in there. He showed up out of nowhere right after she busted through.
We're going to be searching your cabin later. Anything you want to tell me about now?
I don't have any coke if that's what you're asking. Go ahead and search my whole cabin. Degrading as hell, but can't wait to prove you wrong. You'll owe me a huge apology. Maybe even your badge.
By the way, is there anyone alive who can vouch for your whereabouts last night between 10:30 and 11 and 10:30 and 1 a.m.?
Cute. And no, there isn't. If you must know, I couldn't sleep, so I went over my lines. They made major changes to the script and handed it to me the day I left for rehab. Why don't you test me on the lines if you don't believe me, detective?
Don't need to. I'm already reading between the lines, Ava. That'll be all for now.
Wow. And we also have this from
We got this thing, huh? Read that thing.
This is a non-prosecution immunity agreement.
Ooh.
Under the understanding specified below, the Appalachian Department of Justice Narcotics Department will not criminally prosecute Ava B. Lawrence for any crimes arising from and related to her arrest for DUI, possession of 2.9 ounces of cocaine, leaving the scene of an accident and resisting arrest on April 12th, 2001. The department enters into this non-prosecution agreement based on the individual's full cooperation with the department in the investigation and prosecution of other individuals implicated in drug trafficking named below. So basically, and there's just more yada, yada, yada. This is her. Oh, by the way, it says she has been buying illegal drugs from her for over a year since they met at a party at Burt Reynolds' residence.
Oh,
Cheap shot of Burt Reynolds.
good old Burt Reynolds. Is he alive?
No.
No, he died, right?
He died.
He
Pick of the
died.
pod.
Pick of the pod.
All right.
So this is where she had to wear a wire. and
She's a
whatever else.
snitch.
Yeah, she's a snitch.
For Rosa Cruz. Is that
R.E. Cruz.
That's okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. For Rosa E. Cruz. R.E. Cruz.
Oh.
Okay.
So what is that about, you think?
Very strange.
So again, this says the Appalachia Vice Unit has spent several years investigating Rosa Cruz for drug trafficking, but have yet to secure a conviction because she manages all illicit actions through intermediaries, and detectives have been unable to find anyone willing to risk their own life to testify. On April 19, 2001, the individual's attorney, Sophia Lorenzo, contacted District Attorney Ethan Goldman, offering assistance in gathering incriminating evidence against Rosa Cruz. Lorenzo suggested that the individual, quote, wear a wire and use her preeminent thespian skills to make a significantly large drug purchase from Miss Cruz in exchange for immunity in the above-mentioned arrest.
So it says, truthfully and completely disclose, this is in the top part, all information with respect to the activities of Rosa Elena Cruz, alias R.E. Cruz.
R.E. Cruz. Okay.
So did we
There
connect
you go.
that? What do we do with that information?
So wasn't the Jane Doe Simpson working for an R.E. Cruz?
Yes.
Yes.
Who was into drugs
Yes.
Right.
So there you go.
and did everything through an intermediary.
So did
And-
Ari Cruz
and
send her
so-
there?
The way
kill-
he and the guy spelled it R.E. Cruz, like
Spelled it
but
R-A-A-R-I.
it could have been because he was talking on the phone,
Right.
so
Right.
he didn't
R.E.
know how they
Cruz.
were spelling
Right.
it.
Mhm.
So it's not
Because
a
that
man,
was
it
this
could be
new
a
information
woman.
that we got.
Right.
Right.
So he spells it Ari, like the name Ari.
Right.
But
Yeah,
it's in
Emily
parentheses.
whereabouts?
Cruz. Right, because he says like I've never been out there face to like.
And it doesn't say guy. So it says, my source told me she's working for a rather shady character going by the name of Ari Cruz. Apparently she was working as a cocktail waitress at the nightclub club.
Okay.
But that still doesn't mean anything for Ava, other than she had a connection. The connection there was that the Jane Doe was working for Ari Cruz, and she was buying the drugs from her. So that doesn't.
Right.
That's circumstantial. That right? Is that a lawyer thing? Circumstantial.
Well, I mean, we know that Ava Lawrence had a non-prosecution immunity agreement to testify against this person that nobody seems to be able to track down.
Yeah.
We got one more person left on the sheet here.
Yeah, so we should probably do Jack Danner. But real quick, Christopher King is clearly a liar.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like, without question, a liar, but he's also maybe the least tough person on the island.
Yes.
You have Paula May, who our victim looked up to very much and loved her. Rob Knox is the Navy guy, and some sketchy stuff with him.
Mhm.
Ava Lawrence is the one that has some sort of connection to the Ari Cruz thing.
Yep.
And that seems like that's pretty important considering that was in the second envelope. But I still don't know how to connect it exactly. So let's do Jack Danner here as we also kind of collect our thoughts. This is again, there were 4 patients and 1 counselor on the island, 2 men, 2 women patients. And one of them was Jack Danner. Here's what he looks like. He looks like hey, over here. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Real pretty boy.
Real pretty boy.
Real
spiky-
slick asshole. This guy, huh?
Slick asshole, spiky hair. He's got the 5 o'clock shadow, open shirt. Let's get to his.
And he's the one who's got the wife who owns the modeling agency, right?
Which modeling agency?
I don't think it's.
We will see.
Okay.
So Jack Diego Danner from Beverly Hills, 90210, 34, 5'10", 193. He is got a size 10, brown eyes, black hair, born in San Bernardino, California. He's right-handed. He has a chest tattoo of a coiled cobra wrapped in barbed wire. Although you can't see it in the picture.
No.
I'd like to see that. That sounds like an interesting piece.
I wish they put it on here.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I know. He's been arrested for a recent DWI. Everything else, no guns, no military, no.
Bellevue Modeling Agency.
Yeah.
Bellevue.
There it is. He drives a Jaguar. Yeah, he's vice president of that modeling agency. And it says, after a pathetically long and boring group session at the fire pit, I returned to my cabin and went to bed around 11 o'clock. I slept soundly until I heard a woman screaming fire, went out to see the counselor's cabin had turned into a blazing inferno. Then the next morning, they go and discover a dead body under there. Makes no sense because according to Ari, there were only 5 of us on the island, not 6. Maybe instead of spending all his time running through people's personal belongings, he should busy himself by learning how to count. That's all he had to say. All right, let's get to the interrogation of Jack Danner. Who wants to go here? Anybody?
Yeah, I'm just reading something. It was interesting that someone mentioned the newspaper article again, and I went back and looked. And the Gambling Addiction Treatment Center in downtown Los Angeles is a VA. So if Knox, who is an ex-military guy, why wouldn't he go there?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want anybody to know.
I guess so.
And is it open yet?
It's not open yet.
Yeah.
All right. Rich, you want to do this with me?
Yep.
Let's do it. All right. You want to be the detective or Jack Diego? I'll be the detective.
Okay.
Please state your full name for the record.
Jack Diego Danner.
Can you tell me why you checked into rehab?
My wife thinks I drink too much. She's completely overreacting as usual. Thing is, she's a lot older than me and acts like a mother hen, if you know what I mean. But I'm an easygoing guy and she takes good care of me, so I do what I can to keep her happy.
First of all, wasn't it? Oh, never mind. Sorry. I'm out of character. I heard you tried to smuggle a sizable amount of alcohol onto the island. Are you sure you don't have a problem?
Hey, look, I'm a social drinker and this is group therapy. I just like to have a good time and I needed to make sure things didn't get dull.
Sounds like you made sure things wouldn't get dull before you guys even stepped onto dry land. You went a little nuts when Ari took your booze. I heard you shoved him up against the pylon and told him you'd mess him up so bad his own mother wouldn't recognize him.
I might have overreacted just a tad.
You think?
Look, I was in a state, okay? I was seasick and he had his hands all over my stuff.
He was. Has drinking ever impaired your judgment?
Of course not.
What about your DWI last month?
That traffic incident? Total misunderstanding. I'd only had a couple of drinks at a company party.
Had a few Chardonnays.
What of it?
An Okie shot.
You blew 2 times the legal limit and were clocked to going 94 and a 45. There was also a 21-year-old cocktail waitress passed out next to you. This was at 2 o'clock in the morning, according to the police report.
Hey, just trying to be a gentleman and give her a lift home. Didn't even know her. Heard she was walking home after her shift, so I tried to do the right thing.
Did you try to sell that story to your wife? Can't imagine she bought it.
Nope. She's had me followed everywhere since it happened. To be honest, I was looking forward to rehab so I could enjoy a little freedom.
Freedom to do what, exactly? I heard 3 female staff members have already complained about you hitting on them.
Complained? I'm just a friendly guy, that's all. Look, the last thing I need is for my wife to hear these crazy accusations. If word gets back, I'll be out on the street without a dime.
Guess she doesn't trust you very much. Wonder why.
Okay, I've just about had it here, detective. You have no business sticking your nose in my personal life. Last time I checked, you had a dead body to deal with.
That's right. I do have a dead body to deal with, which is precisely why I have stuck my nose in your personal life. Tell me, Jack, did you invite that cocktail waitress to come out to the island so things, wouldn't get dull?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
How'd you get her out here, Jack?
What? This is...
Thought you could keep a secret, huh? Sneaking girls onto the island? But you weren't counting on Ari and Scout sniffing around your business, and it was just too risky. She ends up being far more of a problem than an amusement for you.
I really don't know what you're talking about here.
The island's a lot smaller than you thought. You knew you couldn't keep the girl a secret, so you got rid of her. Or maybe you thought your wife set you up. Makes sense, don't you think?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense.
So Ari takes all your booze, you start getting the shakes, feeling a little paranoid, and suddenly a girl is a risk and you can't afford, so you took care of her.
No, I didn't.
I think you did, and then you burned her body to destroy the evidence. Do the right thing, Jack. Tell me what happened. We're going to find out who she is, and I doubt we'll have any trouble connecting her to you. It's not too late for us to work together, try to fix this.
I can't believe this. I did not bring anybody out here with me, and I didn't kill anyone. Please don't let this line of questioning get back to my wife.
If you didn't bring anybody out here, then why do we find an empty bottle of whiskey and 2 glasses in your cabin?
Okay. I asked one of the waitresses, Wanda, I think, if she could get her hands on some of the liquor I brought. Told her there was $500 in it for her if she could. So she did, and we had a toast. I asked her if she wanted to help me finish the bottle, but she said she got caught. It cost her job. That was it, I swear.
And she'll be able to verify this?
I highly doubt it. She'd lose her job, remember?
I see. So I assume there's no one who can verify your whereabouts between 10:30 and 1 o'clock a.m.
There's no one. But I can assure you I was fast asleep by 11 o'clock. I had a little too much Jack, and I was out cold until I heard people screaming, fire.
Too much Jack, huh? I can relate. My heart goes out to your wife. We're done now.
All right. So this guy's one motive would be...
Okay.
He's scared the shitless of his wife.
Correct.
And you need to... So one thing, people are asking what was on the money clip, and it was... You can
An
pull it
anchor.
up, but it's an anchor.
Yep, pulling it up now.
It's got a $1 bill in there, high roller.
No, it actually had... I had the
A
list.
20 and a couple ones.
Yep.
Still.
Okay, and then if you look at the arrest record for
Jack
for
Daniel.
Jack,
Yeah, I was going to pull that up.
yeah, in the passenger seat was a young woman who was initially passed out. Her ID indicated her to be 21-year-old Rebecca Burns of Los Angeles. At first, she became hysterical as she couldn't recall who Mr. Danner was or how she'd gotten into his vehicle. Then she vaguely remembered meeting him at the club where she works as a cocktail waitress. He claimed he was only trying to take her home, and the officer took her home instead. And that could have been, just throwing it out there, that could have been Emma.
Let's see.
Definitely could have been Emmeline Simpson
Yeah.
because that's even what Smithers says is she probably has a fake name.
Yeah.
But she was born in 1984.
No, but it was a fake ID.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, and also
the-
like kind of like because there's like probably has a fake fake ID because she's under 21, and then this ID says she's exactly 21.
Yes.
Maybe I'm reading
Oh boy.
So,
much-
Okay.
into this though, but it just seems like he's a scamp, but not like a planner.
No.
Why wouldn't you, if the waitress at the rehab facility was really into celebrities, then the chances are she probably was drinking Jack Daniels with him. And if he could get those, like, if he could get, it just seems like a lot of work to do a whole map to get some chick who was a waitress who didn't even remember hanging out with him out to the island, as opposed to Ava, who, I mean, the Ari Cruz.
Ari Cruz is a monster, and yeah, people in the chat are talking about it too.
Don't you think Ari
Pitsnoggle,
could
Jordan.
Ari Cruz be Paula? What's her name?
Could be.
I guess it
Yeah, like,
could be, but
because she said she's trying to find other businesses. She has connections. She knows lots of people.
I just think Ari Cruz sent this girl out there to try to kill Ava B. Lawrence. Because the thing is, her nails were also scorched. And she's like, oh, about her movie. But when was the incident? I mean, her nails are scorched.
oh, so you think Paula could be Ari, and this girl, Emma Lynn, loved Paula, and then so she went out there, but then Ava was a part of a group that was trying to bring down Ari, right?
Yes.
But then who would have killed Emma Lynn, though?
Ava. I think Ava killed her.
Oh, boy.
Or
I don't know. I don't know what would point to that.
Who?
Are we reading into the fact, too, that what's her name? Our Jane Doe looked exactly like Paula May?
Yes, she did.
Maybe
Yeah.
pull the old switcheroo?
Yes, she did. So, again, Objective number 3, our third and final objective: convict the killer. How do we find out who killed her?
We don't even know how they did it. Like,
the
how the hell
suspects,
they have done it?
The suspects are Chris King, Ava B. Lawrence, Jack Danner, Paula May, Rob Knox. Is there anybody that you think we can eliminate? Because, I mean, I'm not so sure we can.
No.
They all kind of have something going on.
It's got to go back to like motive. Like, why would somebody kill this girl? Right?
Right.
Because she was coming out to kill Ava Lawrence.
So you think a farm girl?
All right. So somebody in the chat wanted to know whose nails were all cocked up. Ava Lawrence.
Ava's.
So can you see her nails at all in this photo?
You can.
Yeah, they look fucked up too.
Oh, they do?
I can't tell.
Get the thing.
Oh, yeah, where's my little magnifying glass?
They look like
they look short. They're not long. That's for sure.
So that was already like that.
So that checks out.
Yep. I'll tell you, gang, I am stumped.
Okay.
All right, Jacob wants to know, is there any evidence we haven't seen? I don't believe. If you started when we started at 8 o'clock, I believe we have used every bit of evidence we have. And again, based on our Jamie Banks one, I feel like this evidence has to have, we're going to have to use something from this new packet.
So how long was Ava Lawrence buying drugs for?
A year? Didn't it say?
All right.
So it says in the... So the private detective says, after making well over 100 phone calls, I was eventually able to track Emma Lynn's whereabouts to LA. My source told me she was working for a rather shady character going by the name of Ari Cruz. Apparently, she was working as a cocktail waitress at a nightclub Cruz runs called Club Pyro. I assume she's using a fake ID. I called Club Pyro and explained I was looking for Paula May with a tooth gap. And the manager knew her. She responded, of course, the sweet little girl from Wisconsin. We haven't seen her in about a week. Last I heard, she was doing Ari a favor, but no one's seen her since. Another source who lives in LA told me Ari Cruz had a hand in several pies. Some of them rumored to be highly unsavory pies, but I couldn't find any criminal records. My public search records came up empty, probably because he was spelling the name wrong. In addition to Club Pyro, Ari Cruz apparently has ties to a questionable modeling agency called LA Girls and a storage facility near the airport. I was told that it's also highly likely Cruz is involved in an illegal gambling ring and drug trafficking.
Well, so the gambling was Rob Knox, right?
Yeah, but also that what's her name could be starting the doctor could be starting that gambling. So if you're pumping people full of drugs to bring them to your drug rehab facility, wouldn't you also get people into gambling so you can get them in your gambling facility? And what's her name? The CEO is trying to get into. Where's my pamphlet? Where's my who am I thinking of here?
Jack Danner?
Kendra Matthews.
Well, what about her?
So she's the one that said she's looking for other opportunities, start different businesses.
Okay.
That could be clubs.
No.
Yeah, but she's not a suspect.
She's the doctor who runs the...
Who am I thinking of then?
I have no idea.
She's not a suspect.
No.
Who am I thinking of? I was talking about like getting into different businesses. Like who we
Paula,
think could be
Paula May.
Okay.
Paula May is talking about because
I
she
think-
can't model anymore, she has to do other things.
Right.
Paula has something to do with it.
Yes. And the girl looks just like her.
And she really looked up to her. So if she like went out and found her and Paula was like, oh my God, you look just like me. And then she's like, give me a job. And she's like, okay, you can be like my...
But Cruz is involved in an illegal gambling ring. This Ari Cruz, Rob Knox loves gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's it.
I mean, my guess is either Ava Lawrence or Rob Cruz because
This Ari
But why
Cruz
would
thing
you-
though is pretty significant. It has to
Pepe
be.
Sylvia. Pepe Sylvia.
It's Pepe Sylvia.
Who?
Always Sunny.
Yeah, don't worry, we're
I think it's also like Kaya, that woman. Like, what's
that's nothing.
Yeah, but why would they put it in there?
Who?
The one
On that
who went missing, the
Oh.
other girl who went missing.
So Jordan thinks Rob Knox is his first suspect. One Happy Hen says Ava confused Emma for Paula and killed her, and Paula is Ari Cruz.
Yeah.
Could be. Oh my god!
Because I'm guessing the reason that what's her name was killed was because she looked exactly like Paula May.
Someone was trying to kill Paula.
I think she came out to kill Ava Lawrence.
But why?
Because she's a
Because
snitch.
Ava was she was a snitch. Ava was about to turn state's evidence on Ari Cruz
So
for
couldn't-
drug
So-
trafficking.
That's why I think
And she was away
It's-
doing a favor for Ari.
it's Paula.
But
It's
I
Ari,
think the question
and
that we
the
have to
girl-
ask is who sent this map? Who wanted her there? Who wanted Emma out at the island? Who like
Ari Cruz.
all right.
Right, but I think that's
So
Paula.
who's Ari Cruz?
I think it's Paula. Because she talks about she never leaves. She's always looking for cameras.
And Davey,
Very paranoid.
She did lie about
She did lie about sleeping.
sleeping.
She lied about sleeping. She lied about hearing everyone yelling fire.
But the problem is she was the one who broke down the door
Right, to cover.
to cover
maybe-
his tracks,
Her
maybe?
But maybe she already knew the damage was done, and so she was like,
Right.
"Yeah, I'll go in there. Of course, I'll go in there."
Okay.
All right. So the map handwriting. Sorry, this is like the one thing that I don't have scanned. Here's the map handwriting. Okay. And let me pull up something from Paula. Let's see.
I would also just like to say, like Robert Francis Knox, Richard Francis Keefe.
Think about it.
You're on fucking thin ice too, pal.
I just wonder if we're making it too complicated, and I wonder if it's just
Do you think that looks like that at all?
no.
No,
No.
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 Look
But that's
So
just her.
listen,
That's
no,
someone
the-
writing
but-
it down, though.
Here, the Apollonia Vice Unit has spent several years investigating Rosa Cruz, aka Ari Cruz, for drug trafficking, but have yet to secure a conviction because she manages all illicit actions through intermediaries, and detectives have been unable to find anyone willing to risk their own life to testify. This is from Ava's prosecution agreement, non-prosecution agreement.
So someone who
Right.
doesn't go out and deals with intermediaries, we know for a fact that she
know
sends
Paula.
people out to send her own groceries to get her groceries because she's paranoid, right?
Yes. She has minions.
Also, I think if you're worried about the map handwriting, that could have actually been Emma Lynn's handwriting too, right?
Yeah, she could have been dictating it. Oh,
Like
yeah.
maybe.
That's what Jacob just said.
Oh, he did. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm reading it now.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be. So that I don't think that's going to be it necessarily. But yeah, this definitely feels like it has something. This non-prosecution immunity agreement for Ava Lawrence.
I could be wrong,
Okay.
but I don't think Paula has anything. I think Ava killed her. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
the person who killed her is the person who invited her out there. Obviously,
But why would
No,
Ava
no,
kill
Ava-
Emma?
because Emma was out there to kill her. Why else does she have a knife with her?
I am stumped. Because what we're gonna need based on the last thing that we did, we're gonna need like probably
Specific.
two or three things that we have here are gonna have to be why it was whoever the killer we think is. So
And Ava's
God.
the one that saw the fire. She's the first one that screamed.
I guess. And her nails were messed up. So maybe
Nails
she
are
did
already messed up.
Oh, they were already messed up.
Yeah.
So the map says, just to be clear, there will be a boat with keys in it at the marina, 2 slips down from the one they took to the island. Captain hooked. Why would it say they took to the island? Wouldn't it be we took to the island? Anyway.
No,
Well, that's Cruz.
because I think
Yeah.
it's somebody going. Like I think Ari Cruz sent Emma
Got it.
to the island to get Ava, so that Ava would not testify against Ari Cruz when she gets out of rehab in the upcoming drug trial. If no one's been able to get her for drug trafficking thus far, and she's slippery and she has people do her errands.
Yeah, so that's it. So
the trick is just proving who Ari Cruz is.
Or it doesn't matter because
The only other woman there.
Ava killed. It doesn't matter.
Son of a bitch.
Right now, it would just matter that Ava killed
Right.
All right.
Emma.
So
I mean, I don't know. I mean,
but we would have to. We need, when you find the evidence, directly connecting one of the 5 suspects to Jane Doe. So we need something that directly connects Ava to killing Emma.
Which we
I mean,
don't
do you
have.
think it's but maybe it's just I don't know because there's nothing else, but maybe it's just the Ari Cruz, right? Because Ari is spelled R-I, the way it's spelled in the letter is
A-R-I, yeah.
A-R-I, and in the interrogation or immunity agreement,
So it's the immunity agreement is the proof that someone was going to kill her, and so she killed them.
Well, it's proof that Ari Cruz is R.E. Cruz.
Yeah, Knox's middle name is F, so he's R.F. Knox. He's not R.E. Knox.
So it would be, it would stand to reason that whoever R.E. Cruz is sent the girl to the island, set her up with directions.
Okay, but that doesn't matter.
Right.
Why?
Like you said, the
Who
direct
are-
connection. The direct connection is the
Who Ari Cruz is right now doesn't matter.
that doesn't matter.
No, we don't
What I'm
care
saying
about
is that, like,
Yeah, all
Yeah.
that matters is how do we know it was Ava who killed her?
Yeah, convict the killer. That's all we're trying to do right now.
she was the only one who they agreed upon was there when the
Right,
fire
she
started.
was the one who yelled.
Yeah, I think
He did have singed hands. I mean,
She had singed hands, and she was the only one that everyone universally agrees was there when the fire started.
and she was the first one that saw the fire.
Yep, and wouldn't go in.
All right, so let's try this. Let's go to the thing and just see what it sort of says and
Yeah.
it gives us what
Yeah.
the options are. So here we go. It says, what 2 documents connect Emma Lynn to a suspect?
It's the Smithers document.
So that is the letter from the private investigator.
Yes,
Yep.
and Ava's agreement.
non-prosecution.
All right, let me find that. Make sure I get the right one. Immunity agreement for Ava B.
Yep.
Lawrence.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to click on those 2 things. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. It says you have not selected 2. I selected 2. All right, here we go. Ready? Letter from private investigator. Immunity agreement for Ava B. Lawrence. Check answers. You did it. Ari Cruz is Ava Lawrence's drug dealer, R.E. Cruz.
Woo!
Boy.
We overthought that.
We
so
really did.
much.
We
Yeah.
really did.
So
right.
probably what's going to happen is we'll
Be like,
open
how
this
did she
and-
die?
No, it'll be like, who's Ari Cruz?
Yeah.
That's my guess when we open this.
Well, this is what's also going to happen right now. Let me get to this. Let's get this. You guys see this?
Yeah.
Shocking news today, as world-famous actress Ava
No!
B. Lawrence has confessed to murdering a 17-year-old girl decades ago. On April 23, 2001, officials found the remains of a murdered woman while investigating a fire on Del Fuego Island, a rehab facility 12 miles off the coast of LA. Lawrence was on the island at the time and was a suspect, but police never identified the girl and the case was closed. But a recent team of investigators proved she was Emma Lynn Simpson, a 17-year-old runaway from Wisconsin. They also uncovered that Emma Lynn worked for Ava B. Lawrence's drug dealer. Once police learned of the connection between the two, Ava B. Lawrence was brought in for questioning and confessed. According to Ava's statement, Emma Lynn was hired to take a boat to the island and deliver her drugs. But the boat sunk when she swam to shore. When Lawrence found out the drugs were lost, she accidentally killed her. She then dragged the body under a cabin and burned it down to hide the evidence. We'll have a heartbreaking interview with the victim's mother, Darla Jean Simpson, later in the broadcast.
Wow.
So here's the
Thanks
thing.
for that.
Like, how did she kill her though? That's the thing. Like, how did she cave her chest in?
Wow. Jeez.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Is there more to the video?
That was it.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you open up the last envelope, there's a voluntary statement by Ava B. Lawrence.
So this is probably where she admits to how she did it.
She must say how she did it. All right, it's two-sided.
Voluntary statement. And congratulations. So here it is.
Go ahead.
I had to get rid of the body, so I
No. I believe that's the back.
On the night
Yeah.
of April 22nd, 2001, I was staying in the Del Fuego Rehab Center in the midst of a wild-ranging storm, both weather and internal demon-wise. I took the life of a young girl. That one horrific night has haunted me every night of my life, but you have to know I never, ever intended to kill her. You see, I was a cocaine addict and my resulting behavior landed me in rehab. To be perfectly honest, I had zero intentions of getting over my addiction. The only goal was to give another award-winning performance. This time as someone who overcame her addiction so I could happily go back to snorting away my problems. That being said, there was no way I could spend 2 weeks in that island without any stimulants, so I paid my dealer, R.E. Cruz, to send one of her girls on a boat to deliver my fix on the first night. When the girl finally showed up, she was in hysterics about her boat sinking and that she was nearly died swimming 100 feet to the island. I was already feeling jumpy and anxious from the effects of withdrawal, so I really didn't care what she had to say or what she had gone through. I just wanted to get my fix and told her so. That's when she confessed she'd lost the package. I flew into a rage, shaking her violently and calling her every name in the book. That poor young girl was so scared, and I didn't care. She tried to run, but I caught her. She tried to fight me off, and at that point, but as soon as she started screaming, I kicked her square in the chest, and she went down instantly. It made a horrible noise. What had I done? She wasn't moving or breathing. Panic set in. I was about to yell for help, but I realized I'd probably go to jail for the rest of my life over a little mistake that would be a complete waste. I had to get rid of the body, so I dragged her down into the water, but the waves just kept washing her back onto shore, and I couldn't risk it. Then I thought of the lighter and the gas can that Counselor had left out, and remembered it wasn't in his cabin. He'd begged me to go with him to the cave on the other end of the island, but I declined. The guy was smarmy. Who uses the word smarmy in a confession? But he had told me he'd be there for a few hours, and if I changed my mind. So knowing he'd be away from his cabin, it became clear what I needed to do. I dragged the poor girl's lifeless body into the cabin and shoved her underneath. I'll never forget how sick I felt dousing her body with gasoline. I haven't pumped my own gas since. I poured gasoline all over everything I could reach under the cabin. Everything else I could reach under the cabin. Then I crawled out of there, and the lighter was tossed it under. After sprinting back to my cabin, I started having second thoughts of whether or not the counselor might actually be in the cabin, and I didn't want another murder on my conscience. So after I was sufficiently convinced that the body was underneath and burned beyond recognition, I went outside and started screaming just in case. I knew after that that I had to change my life. My personal choice to become a coke addict led to the death of an innocent girl. Since then, I've dedicated my life to helping others overcome their addictions so they can stop damaging themselves as well as those around them. I knew it would never bring that poor girl back, but that was, in a way, I could bring her back, at least some justice by saving other lives. I deserve whatever punishment I have coming. I'm actually glad that my story has finally come to light, as it may be a wake-up call for other drug addicts to realize just how far into the darkness their addictions can take them. Wow. Signed, Ava B. Lawrence.
We did it, gang. No false steps along the way.
We did it. We didn't screw up once. We're getting really good at this. We should open up our own firm.
I think so.
We should.
And we did it in one shot. We did it in under 3 hours.
I knew we could do it. I have faith.
I think having the stuff in front of us, and I think
that helped you.
Doing to be fair, we did like 20 minutes of like background stuff, just to get the ball rolling, so we didn't waste any time.
Right.
Yeah, like when I scanned it in this time, I looked at it more than I did last time, so it wasn't like brand new to me. So I had some kind of I at least knew what the story was, so that definitely helped. But
yeah, so someone said in the chat too, you can't be one kick in the chest and it did that much damage.
Maybe it was the asthma.
No,
it broke her ribs and punctured her aorta.
Yeah.
Well, it did look like too. It did look like the house fell on her in the picture as well.
She was training for a superhero movie.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And she was all coke crazed.
She was coke crazy.
She
Yeah.
was
He was
crazy.
coked up
Yeah.
like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
All that booger
Not bad.
sugar. I think we're just too good at this point. I think this
we
is
nailed it.
we can't do this again. We're too good.
Yeah.
You know. But I think, you know, we each. I'm proud of all of us. We each had a moment where we cracked something, and I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the total team effort.
We all brought something to the
Me
table
too.
today.
Exactly.
Even Ogie.
Even Oak.
Our Ogie killed it for
Yeah.
sure.
Look at that dum right there. Oak.
All right. Thanks for everybody for
He might be dead.
listening to the podcast, for joining us. Those of you that are joining us and helping us out on the YouTube. You can every Monday night we are streaming on youtube.com/dork podcast. You can rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast just about everywhere you get your podcast. Any final words?
This was
No,
fun.
this
I
was
love
fun.
this. This was
Good.
so
This was
fun.
a lot of fun today.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good.
I feel like this
Yeah.
one, and I will say it now. I said it under my breath. I feel like this one was a little easier
It was
than
a
the last
little
one.
easier.
I don't know if this one was easier or that we just knew that we also had to look at pictures.
Yes.
And we had the pictures to look
And
at.
we had the pictures in front of us to look at.
I
Yeah.
think it was only easier. I think, yeah, the other one would have been easier if we did this one first, because you would have been pictures are super important. And then whatever you open in the second envelope is going to be something. Like you
Ex-
need to use one of those things for sure.
Yes.
And keep it simple.
Keep
And
it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep-
That-
kiss.
That's where, I mean,
Kiss.
yes.
Mhm.
That is
All right.
really the key, I think, is
Yeah.
That's true. We'll be back next week. Thanks Ryan, and thank you, Nicole. Davey and I will be back next week. We're gonna do our roundtable talking about the top 50 horror movies. So Mac and Goo and Rossi will join us for that. So thanks for listening, and we will talk to you soon.
okay.